Chapter 2330. 2332,330, the 10th level of the underground sea. What happened? What happened to the patriarch? Something happened to Grandpa. When a scream came from an eternal divine kingdom in the North City, it immediately attracted attention and people immediately ran over. 2 minutes later, another scream came from another place. The experts who had escaped were killed by the curse before they could even recover. Save me, grandfather, father, save me, save me. The young man who had just returned to the eternal divine kingdom from the back of the city lord's mansion in the North City shouted with a mournful face. The roar was abnormally mournful and strange. At this moment, his body was almost cut in half, and his entire body was covered in blood. He looked extremely miserable. The moment he returned to the eternal divine kingdom, he cried out for help with a terrified face. He felt his life rapidly draining away. He felt that he was about to die. With his own recovery ability, he could not recover from his injuries at all. Young master, what happened to you? An old man guarding the divine kingdom noticed that the young man was covered in blood and had almost been cut in half. His face revealed a shocked expression. He hurriedly ran over. When he saw the miserable state of the young man's body, he immediately channeled his energy. Damn it! When he sensed that his energy had been dissolved by the 5 elements' destructive power, his expression changed drastically. Immediately inform the city lord. Quick, quick, something has happened to young master Jing Shaoyang. He hurriedly shouted loudly. Boom boom boom. In less than 5 minutes, an old man, a woman, and a middle-aged man flew over. Little Yang. When they saw the young man's injuries, the 3 people's expressions changed drastically. The old man immediately flew over, and majestic energy was poured into his body. Pills were put into his mouth one by one. Little Yang, what happened? What happened? Who did it? A roar came from the mouth of the middle-aged man behind him, and he stared at his son with a blood-red face. Father, grandfather, it's the owner of the Dragon Palace's war pet shop. It's him. He killed third uncle and most of us, Jing Shaoyang said with a pale face. His head began to close under the elder's treatment. It was not as terrifying as before. Stabilize your breath and control the energy in your body to recover first. Tell me in detail, the elder said to him with a dark face. It's grandfather. It's like this. Jing Shaoyang told him everything that had happened. The elder's face kept changing. An array that could trap the eternal god lord sea monster? A powerful beast tamer master? The owner of the Dragon Palace pet shop? He didn't say anything when he heard his grandson's word. If it were him, he would do the same, but Jing Tianya and the others were a bit unlucky this time, and they had misjudged the other party's strength. At this moment, Jing Shaoyang roared with a face full of fear, and his voice sounded abnormally horrifying. In the next moment, his body began to wither and become deathly still. Oh no, what's going on? Little Yang, the old man and the middle-aged man's faces were filled with shock as they frantically transmitted energy to his body. Cough cough cough, cough cough, Grandpa, I feel the energy in my body disappearing. Grandpa, father, help me take revenge. Kill him, kill him. Jing Shaoyang growled in a low voice with a pained expression. His life force was disappearing, and the energy in his body was dissipating. If not for the old man treating him at the expense of his own body, Jing Shaoyang would have died. However, even if he did not die, he would have to pay a terrifying price for this recovery. He fainted. 10 minutes later, the old man looked at his grandson with a somewhat pale face, his face extremely gloomy. Father, why did little Yang's injuries suddenly burst out? The middle-aged man at the side also had an extremely ugly expression, clenching his fist. I don't know. The old man's expression changed, and he shook his head gloomily. Father, you have to avenge little Yang. The woman at the side cried with tears streaming down her face. I'll handle this matter. You guys stay here and take care of little Yang. His eyes flickered as he slowly walked out. Lord City Lord, I've just received news that 4 city guards have died. They died in their eternal divine kingdom. Just as the old man walked out, an old man respectfully came to report. Dead. The old man clenched his fists tightly and looked at the city in front of him. Our northern city has always been the weakest of the 18 cities in the sky. Now, more than 10 experts have died, he murmured, and then a cold light shot out of his eyes. If the northern city can obtain that special array formation, it will be easy for them to heal Little Sheep's injuries. At that time, the northern city might not be comparable to a main city, but it is not impossible for it to become one of the top 3 cities. With such a great merit, the patriarch will definitely not be stingy with the rewards. The old man murmured, this might be a turning point for the northern city. Notify the eternal lord of the northern city. Notify the experts from the pet god pavilion. I'll have to trouble them all to come over. He looked at his subordinates and ordered. It's the city lord. The old man was slightly shocked. He immediately nodded and left. The weakest city in the 18 cities. In order to elevate the northern city, Tianya and the others have fallen. This time, it's time to take a gamble. After the old man gave his order, he looked at the eternal kingdom at the back and flew away immediately. These guys should be dead. Located in the depths of the underground sea in the sky realm, Wang Xian revealed a smile after he finished laying out the last curse. He would not provoke others if others did not provoke him. Since the other party wanted to kill him, he naturally had to kill his way back. I've gotten so many battle pets for Boss Wang. Next, I should look for my Eternal Lord level 7 and level 8 mount. It would be meaningless to look for those low-level ones anymore. It would also waste my Invincible battle technique time. The Invincible battle technique didn't know what was happening here. After helping Wang Xian capture more than 200 flying starfish, this guy started to slack off. He didn't plan to attract the low-level sea monsters anymore. He wanted to see if he could attract level 8 sea monsters of the Eternal Lord. At least level 7 of the Eternal Lord. However, level 7 and level 8 sea monsters were not that easy to find. He did not encounter any for more than 10 hours. This made Invincible battle technique extremely helpless. There must be powerful sea monsters in the depth. Invincible battle technique stared at the bottomless underground sea with sparkling eyes. Boss Wang, I'm back. More than 20 hours later, Invincible Battle Mage flew over with 2 level 4 Eternal Lord sea monsters and shouted in a perfunctory manner, "You brat, why did you take so long this time and only manage to get these 2 after a day?" Wang Xian said with slight dissatisfaction, "Boss Wang, I don't know why there are fewer sea monsters in the surroundings either. It might be because of the group of stellar flying fish. I think we can go deeper and take a look. For example, the 9th level and the 10th level. We will definitely encounter powerful sea monsters there." Invincible battle technique stared at him and spoke with a straight face. He even pointed deeper into the sea. Deeper into the sea. A hint of hesitation appeared on Wang Xian's face. "Boss Wang, most high-level sea monsters are deeper into the sea. I think that with our strength, we can go to the 9th and 10th level of the underground sea without a problem. There must be a large number of god-level sea monsters there." Invincible battle technique said seductively, "If it's too deep, it's a little risky." Wang Xian showed hesitation on his face. "Boss Wang, how can we obtain a high-level sea monster battle pet if we don't take risks? I'm not even afraid of a level 1 eternal god-level sea monster." "Boss Wang, you're so powerful, what's there to be afraid of?" Invincible battle technique raised his head and said to him. Wang Xian glanced at him coldly. "You have a defensive treasure, but I don't." Chapter 2331. 2331 2331 Earth Chilean Turtle's Nest. Let's go to the deepest part of the underground sea. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before deciding to go to the deepest part of the underground sea to take a look. With his strength, he could totally dive into the deepest part of the underground sea. Even if he met the immortal godly monarch, that guy who was invincible in combat had a treasure, he also had a treasure in his hands. It was enough for him to escape back to the eternal godly nation. Furthermore, if the sea monster lair map in his hands was real, he might be able to obtain a group of level 7 sea monsters. He could take the risk and give it a try. "Let's go, Boss Wang. What are we waiting for then?" Invincible revealed an excited expression when he heard Wang Xian's decision. He immediately urged him, "All right." Wang Xian nodded his head. Now that he had sold all his battle pets, it was enough for him to increase his level by another level. By then, he would have the strength of a level 9 Eternal Lord. However, he was not satisfied. If he could obtain some level 7 or level 8 Eternal Lord battle pets, after selling them, he would be able to reach level 4 Eternal Lord. By then, he would be invincible under the immortal king realm. Across the entire Tianzi continent, the humans and the sea monsters could only threaten him with about 10 people. At that time, he would be considered to be truly powerful. He stared at the deep seabed and flew downwards with his invincible battle technique. This was his first time flying to such a deep seabed. The underground sea was very deep and the lowest level was more than 100 million kilometers. What kind of concept was this? Even if Wang Xian wanted to go deep into the 10th level, he would need to fly for several hours. Of course, if he teleported, he would be very fast. However, in this underground sea where the sea monsters were wreaking havoc, teleporting was simply courting death. If he teleported into the sea monsters, he might not even have the chance to return to the eternal celestial kingdom and would be instantly killed. Over here, their aura is over here. Then, they continue to extend towards the depths of the underground sea. About 20 minutes after Wang Xian left, more than 200 people rushed over from the previous location. There was a strange war pet in front of the 3 old men in the lead and an old man who was wearing a costume with the patterns of 100 beast. The war pet had a long nose, which took up 1/3 of its head. It looked a little deformed. Going to the depths of the underground sea? The white-haired old man in the middle frowned slightly. Patriarch Jing Tianya has a map of the sea monster's nest in the depths of the underground sea. It should be obtained by that guy now. It's very likely that the old man said to the white-haired old man in the middle, with a thoughtful look on his face. "Oh, City Lord Jing, a map of the sea monster's nest? What's a map of the sea monster's nest?" The old man in the 100 beasts costume asked with sparkling eyes. "The Earth Chilean turtle nest map. That guy can kill Tianya and the others. He has at least 8 or even 9 laws. He should be able to subdue the Earth Chilean turtle." City Lord Jing didn't hide anything and said, "Pavilion Master Zong, keep chasing. If we can catch up to the pet shop owner of the Dragon Palace, it will be a great opportunity for both of us." The white-haired old man said to Pavilion Master Zong, "Good. If we succeed, our pet god Pavilion will join your Northern City and Sky City in the future." Pavilion Master Zong said with a smile, "Good. Continue your pursuit. There might be some danger in the future. The weak will immediately return to the eternal divine kingdom once they encounter danger." The eyes of the white-haired old man flickered. He nodded with a smile and ordered everyone, "Yes, old city lord." The others immediately responded. The white-haired old man was the previous city lord of the northern city. The war pet in front of Pavilion Master Zong moved its nose and immediately began to chase after him. A group of more than 200 people immediately chased after him into the depths of the underground sea. The group of people who came were naturally the people from the northern city, more than 200 Eternal God Lord rank 3 and above experts. This was the strength of the northern city. Even if the northern city was the weakest among the 18 cities and didn't have the suppression of a peak Eternal Lord, it was still a considerable force. There were 2 people who had mastered 9 laws. Including the Pavilion Master of the Pet God Pavilion, there were a total of 3. This force was very strong. At least in their opinion, it wasn't difficult to capture the pet owner of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian, who was flying towards the bottom of the underground sea, didn't know that someone was chasing after him. He did not expect that killing Jing Tianya and the rest would provoke a city in the Sky City. He kept flying downwards and scanned his surroundings vigilantly. Wang Xian was multitasking as he recalled the route on the map of the Earth Chilean turtle's nest. The underground sea was too big. A map would not be able to pinpoint the location. Wang Xian could only roughly determine a territory within a radius of 10 million kilometers based on the records on the map. A radius of 10 million kilometers was not a small place. It would take a lot of time to investigate every single area. Furthermore, he had to be careful at the bottom of the sea. Whoosh! This place is really filled with dangers. After avoiding the sneak attack of a phantom sea monster, Wang Xian waved his arm. A surge of powerful energy attacked the phantom sea monster. Buzz! The transparent body of the underground sea killer flashed and disappeared quickly. A single strike could kill a person for thousands of miles. This was the famous killer sea monster in the sky realm. Wang Xian ignored the illusionary sea monster that had already escaped and continued flying downward. When he reached about the 8th layer of the underground sea, Wang Xian used the heart of light and darkness to conceal himself. He could sense a terrifying energy coming from below and around him. In the underground sea, with his current strength, he could not act recklessly. Boss Wang, this place is about ready. I will go and attract the sea monsters. You set up a formation here. It was also the first time that Invincible battle technique had entered such a deep place in the underground sea. He, who had always been bold, spoke with some fear. There's no need for that for now. Let's go to the bottom of the sea to look for something. Wang Xian shook his head at Invincible battle technique. Look for something? Boss Wang, what are we going to look for at the bottom of the underground sea? Invincible battle technique asked with a face full of astonishment. Sea monster lair, take a look too. As Wang Xian spoke, he threw the map to Invincible battle technique. This, Boss Wang, how did you get this? This is a good item. It's a pity that it's not the lair of the level 8 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. Invincible battle technique said with slight disappointment. Wang Xian ignored him and continued to fly downward. After flying for half an hour, a pitch-black seabed appeared in Wang Xian's sight. This was the seabed of the underground sea. In the entire underground sea, 80% of the sea monsters of the Eternal Lord level were hidden at the bottom of the sea. This was also the most dangerous place in the entire underground sea. According to the map, it should be within a radius of 10 million kilometers. Wang Xian roughly estimated the area. Chunibya, let's look for the Earth Chilean turtle's nest first and see if we can find it. Wang Xian instructed Invincible battle technique. Alright, this place is a little dangerous. Boss Wang, Eternal Lord level 8 battle pet, you can't go back on your word. Chapter 2332. 2332 2332 launched a sneak attack. This time, I'll give you even if I only get a level 8 sea monster from the Master of Eternal God. Wang Xian promised Invincible battle tactic. Although this guy was unreliable, Invincible battle tactics had indeed put in a lot of effort this time. He had gotten quite a number of war pets. Wang Xian would get him a level 8 war pet from the Master of Eternal God this time. The next time he promised an ultimate war pet from the Master of Eternal God, would he not come? When the time came, he would definitely rush over eagerly. Boss Wang, this is what you said. Don't worry. I, Invincible in combat arts, will definitely find the Earth Chilean turtle's nest for you. Invincible in combat arts' eyes lit up when he heard Wang Xian's word. How can I lie to you? Wang Xian looked at him and continued speechlessly. You search the front while I search the back. Inform me with this formation when you find it. As he spoke, he threw an array compass to Invincible battle technique before turning around and flying back. Hee. Invincible battle technique kept it into his interspatial ring with a smile on his face and began to search the surroundings immediately. Earth scale turtle, Earth attribute. It should be located below the soil. However, as the soil at the bottom of the underground sea, its hardness is extremely terrifying. The Earth scale turtle wouldn't hide too deep in the soil. Wang Xian mumbled. The soil at the bottom of the underground sea could withstand such a terrifying sea. The toughness was so strong that even immortal godly kings couldn't break it. The Earth Chilean turtle couldn't hide in the soil that was too deep. It should be easy to find. They have reached the bottom of the underground sea. The nest of the Earth Chilean turtle should be in this area. Just as Wang Xian was looking for the sea monster, more than 200 figures had arrived at the location above. Let's go. Mayor Jing looked around and whispered to them. Shall we chase after him by following the scent or wait until he finds the Earth Chilean turtle's nest? The sect master looked at Mayor Jing and the white-haired elder. As long as we don't lose him, we can wait. It would be better if we wait until he finds the Earth Chilean turtle. We can see his strength clearly and catch him off guard. The white-haired old man pondered for a moment and said, "The old city lord is thoughtful. This time, we must be absolutely sure." Pavilion Master Zong nodded and revealed a smile. "Then we'll wait here for a while. If there are any energy fluctuations, we'll immediately head over." The white-haired old man nodded and ordered. The group of people floated in the sea, quietly waiting for the opportunity. "Boss Wang, I've found it. Ha ha ha, my invincible battle technique is still the best." An hour later, Wang Xian received a message from Invincible Battle Technique. His face lit up and he immediately flew in the direction of Invincible Battle Technique. "Boss Wang, look over there. When Wang Xian arrived in front of Invincible Battle Technique, he pointed at a spot in front of him and said excitedly, "You are really lucky." Wang Xian looked over and his eyes sparkled. At the bottom of the sea in front of him, there were more than 40 densely packed black holes, each of which was about 100 meters in size. There were more than 40 black holes, covering an area of 50 kilometers. In the black holes, there were waves of majestic energy coming from them. This is the lair of the Earth Chilean turtles. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with excitement. There were more than 40 holes. It might not necessarily be more than 40 Earth Chilean turtles. There might only be a dozen or even a few of them. However, even if there were 3 or 4 of them, it was still a huge amount of resources for Wang Xian. "I'll set up the formation. You can watch from here," Wang Xian said to Invincible Battle Technique. "All right, Boss Wang. I'll watch the surroundings from here." Invincible Battle Technique nodded his head. Wang Xian concealed himself and walked forward carefully. Chains appeared around him one after another. Setting up an array would cause fluctuations in the array formation. This was unavoidable. However, Wang Xian didn't need to worry too much when facing the Earth Chilean turtle, which was at level 7 of the Eternal Divine Lord. Even if he didn't set up an array, he could still suppress it with his own strength. The Earth Chilean turtle's nest was right here. He didn't need to set up a formation with a black hole to disturb the air. It was sufficient to set up a few binding formations. Buzz buzz buzz. When Wang Xian started to set up the formation, it caused the surrounding energy fluctuations. Roar roar. Low roars came from the nest in front of him. Wang Xian immediately increased his speed. Roar roar roar. At this moment, a 50-meter-long Earth-scale turtle sea monster crawled out from one of the nest. It had a huge turtle shell on its yellowish-brown body. The shell looked as though it was covered with a layer of scales. Its head looked extremely ferocious and it had extremely sharp teeth. "I wonder how many there are. I hope there are more than a dozen of them." Wang Xian revealed an excited look in his eyes. Streams of water surged up and attacked the Earth-scale turtle directly. Roar. When Wang Xian made his move, furious roars came from the nest again. Figures crawled out one by one. 1, 2, 3. A total of 6. 6 Earth Chilean turtles. The strength of the sea monsters had nothing to do with their size. The size of the Eternal Kingdom also had nothing to do with their strength. 6. Not bad, not bad. A smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. 6 Earth Chilean turtles could be dealt with. If there were really 30 to 40 Earth Chilean turtles, he might not be able to deal with them. Surrender. Wang Xian waved his arm and set up a formation to attack the Earth Chilean turtles. "There's a fluctuation over there. Sect leader, let your battle pet see if it's the aura of the Dragon Palace's battle pet boss." Just as Wang Xian was about to attack the Earth Chilean turtles, City Lord Jing, who was more than 1,000 kilometers away, said hurriedly, "Yes, let's go. We might be able to obtain a few level 7 Eternal God Lord War Pet." The sect master's eyes were burning with passion. The sea monster nest map was an extremely precious item. Only someone with the strength of the northern city would possess such a treasure. "Let's go over immediately. Be careful and don't be discovered," the white-haired old man immediately said. The group immediately flew over. 1,000 kilometers wasn't too far for them. When they were over 100 kilometers away, they saw the situation with a mysterious gaze. The strength of an eternal God Lord at level 8 isn't too bad. It's not very strong. 6 Earth Chilean turtles have already been bound by him. That's great. When City Lord Jing and Pavilion Master Zhong saw the scene below, they immediately said. Their eyes were filled with excitement. 8 people below the law level, wait here. Let's do it. The white-haired elder immediately gave the order, buzz, buzz, buzz. In an instant, 7 people flew out and immediately attacked Wang Xian, who was 100 kilometers away. The white-haired elder in the middle was holding a confinement ring in his hand. His eyes were sparkling. Huh? What's going on? Boss Wang, be careful. He was already invincible when he was watching the battle from afar. He could sense it when the group of people arrived. When he saw that they were actually attacking Wang Xian, he immediately shouted out loud. Chapter 2333. 2333 2333 launched a sneak attack. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Wang Xian was about to subdue an Earth Chilean turtle, he was reminded of the invincibility of his battle techniques. Following that, a surge of terrifying energy came from behind and engulfed him. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. He was taming the sea monster just now, so he didn't sense the situation around him immediately. Damn it! A hint of gloominess flashed across his eyes. There was actually someone who had ambushed him here. Roar! Roar! His heart skipped a beat. The only Earth Chilean turtle that had been tamed by him headed straight for the position behind him. At the same time, he moved his body and dodged to the side. You want to escape? You killed the experts of our northern city, yet you still want to escape. Leave me alone, you damn thing. An extremely cold voice entered Wang Xian's ears. In an instant, a confinement circle appeared in the sky above him. The confinement circle emitted an incomparably resplendent energy that directly enveloped the top of Wang Xian's head. This caused his expression to change slightly. Bang! Awoo! In the next moment, the Earth Chilean turtle that was attacking Wang Xian was sent flying. A terrifying force was attacking Wang Xian. This is bad. His expression changed drastically. His gaze swept across the area and his heart sank when he saw the 3 level 9 Eternal Lord experts in the lead. The current him was not even a match for one of them, let alone 3 of them. Furthermore, there were 4 level 8 Eternal Lord expert. They are from the city in the sky. They actually rushed over and even found themselves. Wang Xian's heart sank. Wang Xian didn't care about killing the people from the City of Sky because no one knew that he was the one who killed them. So what if they knew? They wouldn't be able to find him either. Now, Wang Xian realized that he had underestimated the experts from the City of Sky. Oh no, why are there so many experts trying to kill Boss Wang? Did Boss Wang dig up their ancestral graves? Invincible's expression changed slightly when he saw that Wang Xian was locked onto by the confinement circle. It's my level 8 battle pet, the master of the eternal god. Invincible's face was filled with tears as he glared at the people from Sky City with anger. Invincible was naturally aware of the attire of their Sky City. Sky City, how dare you sneak attack people? I'm going to announce your crimes. If you dare to attack Boss Wang again, don't blame me for being impolite. Invincible battle technique roared. Chempate. The few experts ignored Invincible battle technique's words and continued to attack Wang Xian. Damn it, this confinement circle has the effect of disturbing the air with a black hole. I can't return to my eternal divine kingdom at all. I can only escape. At this moment, Wang Xian's heart was burning with rage. A hint of ruthlessness flashed in his eyes as he hurriedly fled to the side. Capture him. We definitely can't let him escape. After killing our people, he still wants to escape. Wishful thinking. City Lord Jing roared loudly. The 3 powerhouses who had mastered the 9 laws suddenly accelerated. Damn it, if Boss Wang is captured, we are done for. My level 8 battle pet of the Eternal Master is also gone. Invincible battle technique's face was extremely dark. He gritted his teeth. Boss Wang, come to my side. As he spoke, he took out a bright fragment from his interspatial ring. The moment the fragment appeared, the surrounding seawater suddenly distorted. Huh! Wang Xian also sensed the terrifying energy from Invincible battle technique. Without hesitation, he immediately fled in his direction. Damn it, how dare you guys attack me, Boss Wang? Do you think I'm Invincible battle technique? Wang Xian flew towards Invincible battle technique. Behind him, City Lord Jing and the other two accelerated their attack. Invincible battle technique held the shard in his hand and threw it towards them. This is... Oh no, this is a law shard. It's a law shard condensed by the immortal king. The white-haired old man was shocked when he saw the law fragment flying towards them. He shouted in shock. He quickly dodged to the side. Boom. Wang Xian was slightly stunned when he heard the exclamations behind him. Following that, he sensed an extremely terrifying explosion behind him. An extremely powerful energy swept over. In just an instant, Wang Xian spat out blood and felt that his back had completely exploded. The power of the law had destroyed his life force. The area where the law fragment exploded instantly evaporated hundreds of millions of kilometers of seawater. It was extremely terrifying. This fellow. Wang Xian stared at Invincible battle technique and gritted his teeth as he flew towards him with all his might. Boss Wang, take me with you. Let's escape together. Invincible battle technique hurriedly shouted. He wasn't afraid of the experts from Sky City attacking him. He just didn't want Wang Xian to be killed. In his opinion, Wang Xian owed him an Eternal Lord level 8 battle pet. If he died, he would lose his battle pet as well. Let's go. Wang Xian circulated the dragon qi in his body. He didn't care about the consumption of his dragon qi. He immediately recovered from his injuries and fled forward with his invincible battle technique. Cough, cough, cough. At the back, City Lord Jing and the sect leader were coughing violently. Cracks appeared on their bodies. The two of them looked extremely miserable. An earthen yellow aura gathered on their wounds and did not dissipate. Beside them, the white-haired old man wiped the blood from his mouth. His face was extremely pale. However, compared to the other two, the injuries on his body were much lighter. Damn it, it's actually a law fragment. That brat actually has a law fragment on him. Jing City leader's expression was extremely ugly. Just now, he was almost killed instantly by the law fragment. Eternal godlords could comprehend laws, and at the Undying Emperor level, they could condense laws. The power of the law attack was terrifying. Even a fragment was enough to heavily injure them. At this time, the two of them had less than 10% of their strength, only slightly stronger than Eternal Godlord level 8. Give chase. We don't need to care about that kid who is invincible in battle. But we must capture the other one. The white-haired elder's expression was extremely ugly as well. He immediately said to the two of them, "Let's go." City Lord Jing and the sect leader treated their wounds briefly. They gritted their teeth and continued to give chase. The other party only had the strength of level 8 Eternal Lord. Even if they were severely injured, they were not afraid. However, when they saw that Wang Xian's figure had disappeared, their expressions turned ugly. Give chase. Everyone, give chase with all your strength. The effect of the confinement circle has not disappeared yet. He can't return to the eternal divine kingdom. The white-haired elder clenched his fists and shouted sternly. The 4 level 8 Eternal Lord powerhouses who were slower were only slightly affected by the impact. Their injuries were not serious. At this moment, their hearts were palpitating. When they heard the old City Lord's order, they gritted their teeth and immediately gave chase. The group of 7 chased in the direction where Wang Xian had disappeared. Boss Wang, how did you offend so many experts from Sky City? My law fragment. It was the only attack method that the Patriarch gave me. Now, in order to save Boss Wang, you have to use it. Boss Wang, you have to repay me properly. Invincible, who was brought by Wang Xian, heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that the enemies behind him had yet to chase after him. He couldn't help but shout at Wang Xian, "Don't worry." Wang Xian suppressed the killing intent in his heart and ran forward with all his might. Chapter 2334. 2334 2334 counterattacked. The other party is actually able to find me. What method is that? If it's not a formation, then what is it? At the bottom of the underground sea, Wang Xian was desperately trying to escape. This was the first time he was in such a sorry state since he came to the Tianzi continent. It was also the first time he was being hunted down. He was extremely furious towards the people from the city in the sky. He would remember this grudge. The first time the people from the city in the sky wanted to kill him, they wanted the black hole spatial disturbance formation. However, all of them were killed by him. On the second day, there were even more people. Yet, they still had the cheek to claim that they were here to avenge the people who were killed. What a joke! Wang Xian's eyes were extremely cold. However, he was very surprised that the other party could lock onto him so quickly. After eliminating the formation, what else is there? Aura. That battle pet with a strange nose. Wang Xian thought of the strange battle pet behind an old man, Buzz. Wang Xian's body shook. The dragon's might completely surrounded him as he continued to fly forward at a rapid speed. Roar! Roar! At this moment, the battle pet, which was running at a rapid speed about 500 kilometers behind him, suddenly let out a low roar. It stared ahead with some doubt. What's wrong, Tianling? Pavilion Master Zhong's expression changed slightly, and he immediately asked the battle pet. Hoo. The battle pet roared a few times and transmitted some information to him. Hearing the information from the battle pet, Pavilion Master Zhong's expression became more and more embarrassed. Quick, increase the speed. He roared with an icy expression and flew forward at high speed. Oh! The white-haired old man and city lord Jing frowned slightly. After flying for 500 kilometers, Pavilion Master Zhong suddenly stopped. What's going on? Seeing him stop, City Lord Jing asked with an embarrassed expression. We lost him. His aura has been completely cut off here. We don't know which direction he went. Pavilion Master Zhong said with a sullen face. Let's split up. Pavilion Master Zhong, you take one person to the top. Xiaoye, you take one person to the left. The two of you go to the right. I'll continue to chase in the front. Inform me immediately if we encounter him. He was also in the aftermath of the explosion of the law fragment. The confinement circle still has more than 10 hours left. He won't be able to run far. The white-haired elder ordered immediately with a gloomy face. All right. Everyone nodded. Without any hesitation, they began to pursue him. At the same time, City Lord Jing immediately contacted more than 200 people not far away and asked them to look for him as well. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as the group of people split up to pursue Wang Xian, the sea monsters that were hiding at the bottom of the sea attacked Wang Xian one by one. There were more than a dozen level 7 sea monsters that were the Eternal Lord. They were trying to entangle Wang Xian. Damn it! There are too many sea monsters at the bottom of the sea. It's too dangerous. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. He released all of his dragon might and suppressed the sea monsters. The terrifying aura caused them to pause for a moment. Wang Xian hurriedly fled. Roar. However, the sea monsters attacked Wang Xian directly, causing his expression to change drastically. Boss Wang, don't be restricted by the sea monsters. Let's escape quickly. A voice that was invincible in battle rang in his ears. Wang Xian waved his arm and the destructive force of the 5 elements swept towards the sea monsters. Aoo! The miserable shrieks rang out, and the dozen sea monsters became even angrier. Wang Xian's figure was blocked for a few seconds. With a dark expression, he continued to flee forward. Over here, kid, don't even think about escaping. At this moment, a white-haired old man appeared at the back. He stared at Wang Xian with eyes filled with fury. A puny level 8 Eternal Lord had actually escaped from his hand. This made him extremely furious. However, he swore to capture him. Not only to avenge the people of the Northern City, but also for the rise of the Northern City, he must capture him. A bunch of beasts, scram. However, when the old man flew forward, he just happened to bump into a dozen level 7 Eternal Godlord sea monsters. The furious sea monsters directly attacked him. He waved his arm and a majestic aura swept towards the sea monsters. However, Wang Xian's figure had already disappeared at this moment. He flew forward for a minute and immediately changed his direction to escape frantically. After fleeing for 2 hours, Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that there was no movement behind him. Boss Wang, it's safe, it's safe. Invincible looked behind him and heaved a sigh of relief. It was good that Wang Xian was still alive. His war pet was still there. City in the sky, northern city. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with a cold glint. He looked behind him and spat out a cold voice. Boss Wang, look to the right. My goodness. Look, 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 stop and look. All of a sudden, an excited voice came from the side of Invincible battle technique. Heh! He was slightly stunned and followed the gaze of Invincible battle technique. What's that? Wang Xian's pupils contracted slightly as astonishment appeared in his eyes. About 100 kilometers ahead, there was a colorful area. There were all kinds of seaweed. This was a strange domain at the bottom of the underground sea. That was not the main point. There was a sea monster wandering on top of it, a colorful dragon python. A colorful dragon python, a level 8 sea monster of the Eternal Lord rank. About 3,000 meters away from the warning, the body of the sea monster was colorful. It had a head that looked like a dragon's head, and it was full of majesty. Ha ha ha, there's always good fortune after surviving a great disaster. Boss Wang, there's always good fortune after surviving a great disaster. At the side, Invincible battle technique was roaring in excitement. His eyes were burning with excitement. Wang Xian looked at him and knew what he was thinking. This made Wang Xian's face turn black. He was still being chased by people. Boss Wang, let's continue to work together and capture them. The area ahead might be the lair of the multicolored dragon pythons. Let's capture a few of them, haha. Invincible battle technique said excitedly to him. There are still experts from Sky City chasing after us. I'm just courting death by capturing sea monsters here. Wang Xian looked at him speechlessly. If not for this fellow helping him, Wang Xian would have kicked him long ago. Boss Wang, what are you afraid of? Of the 3 level 9 Eternal Lord experts who are chasing after you, 2 of them were severely injured by the law fragment. Their strength is only slightly stronger than level 8. Only 1 level 9 expert should be able to escape. Moreover, we have already escaped for 2 hours. The other party might have already lost track of us. Fortune comes with risk. Let's try our best to turn a bicycle into a motorcycle. Invincible battle technique stared at the multicolored dragon python in front of him with burning eyes. He was already imagining the mighty scene of him standing on the multicolored dragon python. 2 level 9 masters of the Eternal Lord were severely injured and their strength was greatly reduced. Are you sure? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at him. At that time, he was also attacked by the aftershocks. It had almost consumed all of his dragon energy and even almost reduced his level. I'm sure. Of course, I'm 100% sure. The law fragment given to me by the ancestor was no joke. I saw it with my own eyes at that time. How could it be fake? Invincible in battle techniques confirmed. Is that so? A cold glint flashed across Wang Xian's eyes. Chapter 2335. 2335 2335 In the midst of counterattack. 2 of them are severely injured, but they still possess the combat strength of a level 8. There are 4 other level 8 Eternal Masters and 1 level 9 Eternal Master. With my current strength, it will be very difficult to kill a level 9 Eternal Master unless... Wang Xian was deep in thought. It was not impossible for Wang Xian to kill a level 9 Eternal Master. However, there was a prerequisite. He had to set up a formation and trap them in the formation. The strongest aspect of a formation master was to set up a formation. If he could set up more than a dozen formations, he would be able to severely injure the master of the Eternal God even if he was 2 levels higher than him. If he was lucky, it was highly possible for him to kill the master of the Eternal God. With Wang Xian's current strength, setting up a formation would be able to fight against a level 8 master of the Eternal God. What if he set up more than a dozen formations? With more than a dozen formations activated in an instant, even a level 9 master of the Eternal God would be severely injured. But what if he set up more than 20? It was very likely that he would be able to kill them, But this kind of two-tier battle was very, very difficult for array masters. First, you had to control enough high-level arrays. Second, the enemy had to be drawn into the array. Especially the first point, the control of arrays. Could a rank 6 Eternal Godlord array master control more than 10 attack arrays of this level? It was very, very difficult. He had never even learned or even heard of so many offensive arrays. However, this was not a problem for Wang Xian. The Celestial Emperor of Heaven array was a Celestial Emperor after all. He controlled more than 10,000 arrays. He had at least 30 offensive arrays at level 7 of the Eternal Lord. If I set up more than 20 arrays myself, I can severely injure the level 9 of the Eternal Lord. After that, I can transform into a divine dragon and unleash all of my strength. Perhaps I can kill them, but what about the other 6 level 8 ones? Wang Xian frowned slightly. Following that, he looked at the multicolored dragon python in front of him. He was a little hesitant. I'll take a gamble. Even if I'm severely injured, I won't let those guys off easily. Wang Xian clenched his fists tightly. His eyes were flashing with fury and killing intent. Idiot, I'll set up the formations here first. Later on, you'll attract the multicolored dragon python over. Wang Xian said to Invincible battle technique. Ha ha ha, Boss Wang, a wise choice. Ha ha. Invincible battle technique was filled with excitement. Without any hesitation, Wang Xian immediately set up a concealment formation in the surroundings. He set up a black hole disturbance formation and set up attack formations one after another. As for Invincible battle technique, he was on alert in the surroundings to prevent the experts from Sky City from pursuing him. After 5 to 6 minutes, Wang Xian set up the formation and gestured at him. Ha ha, my colorful dragon python mount, Invincible in battle techniques is here. Invincible in battle techniques flew toward the colorful area in front of him with excitement. Roar. Bang. In less than 3 minutes, a roar was heard. Accompanied by a human figure, the figure flew backward at a terrifying speed. Beast, this beast, how dare you treat your master like this? You're finished. From now on, I, Invincible battle technique, will starve you every day. An extremely arrogant and furious voice came from Invincible battle technique's mouth. He pointed at the multicolored dragon python that was attacking him and cursed loudly. When the multicolored dragon python saw that an ant was not killed by his attack, it still dared to provoke him and charged towards him angrily. Boom. However, this multicolored dragon python did not play by the rules. Halfway through, it opened its bloody mouth and a snake-shaped water energy directly attacked Invincible battle technique. The terrifying power landed directly on his body. His entire body flew forward rapidly. In an instant, he disappeared from Wang Xian's sight. Formation, activate. Wang Xian didn't care about the Invincible battle technique. When he saw the multicolored dragon python entering the formation, he activated the formation one by one. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The entire space was entangled with the formation, attacking the formation and restraining the multicolored dragon python. Submit to me. In order to save time, Wang Xian moved his body. His arm turned into a dragon claw as he clawed at the multicolored dragon python. Roar. With the assistance of the formation and Wang Xian's full strength, the level 8 war pet of the Eternal Celestial Master had no room to fight back. Roar. Soon, a multicolored dragon python let out a few low moans. Wang Xian immediately began to tame it. 10 minutes later, Wang Xian removed the formation. It's a success. The moment the formation was removed, Invincible battle technique ran over excitedly and stared at him passionately. I've succeeded. Let's continue. Let's see if we can tame a few more. Wang Xian said to him. Haha, don't worry, Boss Wang. Leave it to me. I found another one just now. This land of colorful seaweed and coral is really the lair of the colorful dragon pythons. Invincible battle technique roared excitedly and immediately flew in. Wang Xian immediately began to set up the formation. There's no need for too many. If I can get 4 or 5 multicolored dragon pythons, I can fight against the experts of the city in the sky. Wang Xian's eyes were flashing with a cold glint. As long as there were 4 or 5 of them, he could fight against them. Even if he had to sacrifice a few multicolored dragon pythons, he wouldn't hesitate. Perhaps it was really possible that Wang Xian would have a blessing in the future if he survived the calamity. This piece of seaweed and coral was the lair of the multicolored dragon pythons. In just a short 6 hours, Invincible battle technique had attracted 4 multicolored dragon pythons. Ha ha ha, Boss Wang, there are 4 of them. If we stay here for a month or 2, won't we be able to tame dozens of them? When the time comes, Boss Wang, give me 1 more. Invincible battle technique said excitedly to Wang Xian, a few dozen. You're overthinking it. Wang Xian glanced at him and raised his head to look at the confinement ring above his head. This confinement ring was very special. It had been almost 10 hours and it had not disappeared. Boss Wang, the confinement ring above your head should be disappearing soon. You don't have to worry after it has completely disappeared. Invincible battle technique looked over and said to him, the confinement circle was a bunch of confinement weapons forged by the experts who had used up their own strength. If they were hit by the confinement circle, they could either break it with their powerful strength or wait for the energy to run out. The confinement circle above Wang Xian's head was forged by the peak of the Eternal Divine Lord. He couldn't break it. The value of such a confinement circle was extremely high. Is it going to disappear soon? Those experts from the city in the sky shouldn't give up on tracking me before the confinement circle disappears. Wang Xian mumbled. The 4 multicolored dragon pythons had already entered his expectations. If he wanted to subdue them again, it might take a longer time. When the imprisonment ring disappears, the other party might leave. I'll give it my all. Wang Xian exuded a cold aura. He looked around and immediately began to set up formations. This time, he wanted to set up more than 20 formations to wait for their arrival. When that time came, it was uncertain who would kill who. Moreover, even if they were no match for each other, the confinement circle above their heads would disappear. If they could not beat them, they would flee. It was a good opportunity to return to the Dragon Palace. Chapter 2336. 2336 2336 Counterattacked. Boss Wang, what are you doing? Are you going to continue capturing and taming the multicolored dragon pythons? Then I will continue to attract them. Invincible battle technique was puzzled when he saw Wang Xian setting up a formation there. There were not many multicolored dragon pythons in this area now. He needed to change his location. No, I'm setting up a killing formation. Wang Xian shook his head. A strong killing intent shot out from his body. One by one, formations were formed in the void. Killing formation? Invincible was stunned for a moment. Boss Wang, aren't you going to? He suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Wang Xian, who was filled with killing intent. When he saw the terrifying formations being formed one after another, his face revealed a look of shock. Boss Wang, they have a nearly intact level 9 master of the Eternal God. There are at least 6 or 7 level 8 masters. Invincible battle technique said hurriedly. Wang Xian ignored him and continued to set up the formations. Boss Wang, can you help me tame a multicolored dragon python first? If you help me tame it, I'll kill you. Invincible battle technique's expression changed drastically as he looked at Wang Xian with a bitter expression. Boss Wang, you didn't tame those multicolored dragon pythons to help you kill them, right? No, what if the multicolored dragon pythons are killed by them? Boss Wang, don't think too hard. It's never too late for us to take revenge. Don't be so reckless. Invincible battle technique's face turned black as he tried to persuade Wang Xian. He was really worried that Wang Xian would die in a head-on battle with that group of people. He was worried that the 4 multicolored dragon pythons would be killed. That would be a huge loss for him. He had used a lore fragment. Looks like this guy is really petty. Wasn't he just ambushed and killed by others? He didn't lose any meat. Seeing that Wang Xian ignored him, his face turned black as he muttered softly. The last time, he owed him some elixirs and went straight to the battlefield. This guy was narrow-minded and he would not provoke him in the future. Since he could not persuade Wang Xian, he could only watch from the side. After a while, he started to scold the people of the city in the sky again. You bunch of darn guys, why did you have to provoke Wang Xian? Time passed slowly. As Wang Xian was not familiar with the formation, it took him an entire hour to set up more than 20 formations. At this moment, his face was a little pale. Setting up more than 20 formations had consumed a lot of his energy. He took out a pill and swallowed it straight into his mouth to recover the energy he had consumed. Phew. Looking at the confinement circle above his head, Wang Xian could sense that it could only last for 20 minutes at most. It's about time to move. I just don't know if the group of people have left yet. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he removed the draconic aura that covered his aura. At the same time, he waved his arm and 4 colorful dragon pythons appeared in front of him. Chunibya, find a place to hide first. I'll see if I can attract the group of people over. Wang Xian looked at Invincible battle technique at the side. Don't die. Invincible battle technique's face darkened as he spoke to Wang Xian. He looked at the multicolored dragon pythons with some heartache and flew towards the back. Fight. Wang Xian had an idea and immediately ordered the 4 multicolored dragon pythons. Roar. 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 The 4 multicolored dragon pythons let out a furious roar and attacked Wang Xian directly. The terrifying energy was wreaking havoc in the surroundings without any concealment. It could be felt within a radius of more than 100,000 kilometers. Bastard, you're courting death. Wang Xian let out a wild roar and started to fight with the multicolored dragon pythons. Boss Wang, what is this? Fuck, this is sinister. This is so fucking sinister. Invincible, who was hiding hundreds of kilometers away, was stunned when he saw this scene. He was fighting with the 4 multicolored dragon pythons that he had tamed. He wanted to draw them over and then charge at Wang Xian. Under the sudden attack of the 4 colorful dragon pythons, he could severely injure at least 3 to 4 level 8 Eternal Lord expert. He could even kill 3 to 4 of them. Coupled with the formation set up by Wang Xian, he might really be able to trap and kill level 9 Eternal Lord expert. How sinister. I really can't afford to provoke him in the future. Invincible in combat muttered to himself. Damn it, damn it. The effect of the confinement circle is about to wear off. At this moment, more than 100 people were gathered in a place deep in the underground sea. The white-haired old man in the middle looked extremely embarrassed. He looked around and clenched his fist. This time, City Lord Jing and Pavilion Master Zhong were heavily injured, and their strength was less than 10%. In order to chase after that guy, everyone took a huge risk. In the past 10 hours, more than 10 of their subordinates were ambushed by powerful sea monsters and died. Among them, 50 to 60 were injured and fled back to the Eternal Divine Kingdom. After all, this was the lowest level of the underground sea, and it was full of dangers. 10 hours had wasted a lot of resources, and there were even less than a dozen people, but that guy had escaped. In 2 days, more than 20 experts in the northern city had died because of him. How could he be willing? The rest of the people also had ugly expressions on their faces. Waves of tyrannical aura rushed out in all directions. Sigh, we're going back just like that. City Lord Jing's face was extremely pale, and his body looked a little hunched. There's no other way. Perhaps his already. Roar roar. Pavilion Master Zhong shook his head unwillingly. However, before he could finish his words, the battle pet beside him suddenly cried out. Oh! Pavilion Master Zhong was slightly taken aback, and a stunned expression appeared on his face. Tianling, what did you say? You can smell that person's aura? Pavilion Master Zhong hurriedly asked in pleasant surprise. Ao. The battle pet nodded its head. Smell it. Let's go over immediately. Before the confinement circle disappears, we absolutely cannot give up. Capture him and obtain that formation. The white-haired old man's aura trembled, and he immediately roared. Let's go. Without the slightest bit of hesitation, the group flew in a certain direction under the guidance of their battle pet. There's a shockwave coming from the battle ahead. A very strong shockwave. The group flew for about 10 million kilometers before they suddenly sensed the shockwave coming from the battle ahead of them. They were momentarily stunned. Let's go. We have to go there now. A glint flashed across the white-haired elder's eyes as he accelerated immediately. The rest of them had a gleam in their eyes as well. They had a premonition. Buzz. When they got close to Wang Xian, They immediately saw the pet owner of the dragon palace, who was surrounded by 4 multicolored dragon pythons. At this moment, he looked extremely miserable. He was barely able to withstand the attacks of the 4 multicolored dragon pythons. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect that fellow to be entangled by the multicolored dragon pythons. The heavens are really helping me. The heavens want to build our northern city, ha ha ha. When City Lord Jing saw this scene, he couldn't help but laugh wildly. It should be that he encountered the multicolored dragon pythons when he was escaping. He couldn't return to the eternal divine kingdom due to the imprisonment ring above his head. His aura was sensed when he fought with the multicolored dragon pythons. Even the heavens are helping us. The white-haired elder's face was also filled with excitement. Chapter 2337. 2337. Kill the experts of the northern city. Everyone in the northern city was extremely excited. They never thought that God would help them so much when they were about to lose all hope of capturing the boss of the Dragon Palace's battle pet. At the last moment, the opponent was attacked by 4 colorful dragon pythons. His hidden aura was exposed again and was discovered by them. Old City Lord, we don't need to fight at all. He has been seriously injured by the multicolored dragon pythons. He might be dying soon, an 8th level Eternal Master said to the white-haired old man with excitement. The pet boss of the Dragon Palace was injured by the 4 multicolored dragon pythons. They didn't need to fight, and that guy couldn't escape either. They could capture him effortlessly, and once they captured him, they would gain a lot of benefit. No, the confinement circle above his head will soon disappear. Once it disappears, he can immediately escape. Besides, if the multicolored dragon pythons kill him, then our losses will be huge. Make a move now. The white-haired old man shook his head and stared at the front with burning eyes. He turned his eyes to everyone and ordered. The ancestor is right. Attack immediately. City Lord Jing immediately nodded. At this moment, his pale face was flushed red, and his face was filled with excitement. The rise of Northern City was right before his eyes. We'll directly charge over. Pavilion Master Zhong's face was also filled with excitement. His body moved, and he directly charged forward. The white-haired old man, City Lord Jing, and the others did not hesitate at all. They directly flew toward the battlefield. Behind them, a few eternal celestial lords at level 8 followed them. This time, they must not let that guy escape. He's here. This time, all of you will die. At this moment, when he saw a figure rushing towards him, a hint of killing intent flashed in Wang Xian's eyes. His plan was going very smoothly. Damn it. At this moment, he still had to put on a show. Wang Xian's face revealed a ferocious expression. He looked at the group of them and stubbornly resisted the attacks of the multicolored dragon pythons. Ha ha ha, run. Where do you think you're going to run to this time? Kid, surrender. When City Lord Jing saw Wang Xian's ferocious expression, he laughed out loud. He was in a great mood as he roared. Boom. 4 beasts, scram. The white-haired old man's body shook. His level 9 aura, which belonged to the Eternal Lord, burst out. His terrifying aura pressed down on the 4 multicolored dragon pythons. Roar. Roar. The 4 multicolored dragon pythons stared at them vigilantly. They stopped their attacks and retreated to the side uneasily. They swayed their bodies slightly. Ha ha ha, where are you going to run to now? The white-haired elder saw the fear in the eyes of the 4 multicolored dragon pythons and laughed out loud. He stretched out his palm and grabbed at Wang Xian. His eyes were filled with excitement and excitement. Behind him, City Lord Jing and the sect leader were doing the same. Boom. 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 However, the moment they stepped into the center of the formation, the moment they flew to the left and right of the 4 multicolored dragon pythons, the formation was activated in an instant. Even though the formation used a concealing formation, those who were stronger than Wang Xian could still sense the fluctuation of the formation around them. Fortunately, the energy from Wang Xian's battle with the 4 multicolored dragon pythons had concealed the fluctuation of the formation. In addition, the people from the northern city were filled with excitement. They didn't look carefully and stepped into the area of the formation. The moment the array formation was activated, the surrounding scene changed greatly. Boom. 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 One array formation was activated, the second, third, fourth, and all the way to the 23rd array formation were all activated. 23 array formations, 17 offensive array formations. A total of 17 array formations that were enough to severely injure an eternal god lord of the 8th rank. 17 array formations exploded together at the same time, and their power was extremely terrifying. You dare to sneak attack me and chase after me. Today, I want to see who will kill who. At this moment, the injuries on Wang Xian's body disappeared instantly. The injuries on his body were originally just a disguise. Roar. This time, he didn't hesitate at all and instantly transformed into a divine dragon. Boom. 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 The aura of the formation fell. Roar. 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 The 4 colorful dragon pythons on both sides also attacked them. All of the explosions happened in an instant. Crap. What's going on? This is an ambush. At this moment, the expressions of the white-haired elder and the other 3 changed dramatically. Their excited expressions instantly disappeared and turned into shock and anger. The terrifying array formation attack, the attack from the 4 multicolored dragon pythons on the left and right, and the owner of the Dragon Palace pet shop in front suddenly turned into a powerful creature. Everything was out of their expectations. Block. The white-haired elder's heart sank as he roared with a ferocious expression. Block. Block. The other 6 also roared and unleashed their strongest defenses. Boom. 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 17 attack formations covered them completely. The attacks from the 4 multicolored dragon pythons also covered them. Roar. Wang Xian opened his huge mouth and charged toward them with the destruction of the laws. Bang. 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 The sound of explosions rang in the formation. The black hole disturbance formation at the outermost part of the formation shook slightly and almost collapsed. As for the position at the center, it could no longer be seen clearly. No, no, old city lord, Lord City Lord, save me. All of a sudden, a blood-curdling scream came from within. Patriarch, save me. At this moment, even City Lord Jing's cry for help rang out. City Lord Jing and the sect leader were both at level 9 of the Eternal Lord. However, under the attack of the law fragment, their injuries were extremely serious. If it wasn't for the fact that they were chasing after Wang Xian, they would have gone back to recuperate. However, this time, they might not have a chance. Streams of terrifying energy exploded one after another. Wang Xian looked over coldly. He could sense that the auras inside were disappearing. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. More than 10 seconds later, a figure suddenly dashed out from inside. The figure's entire body was extremely miserable. It was only half of its body. At this moment, he was staring at Wang Xian with a blood-red face. He was like a demon that came from the abyss to demand his life. Hee. Wang Xian stared at the half-figure that rushed out and sneered. It might be difficult to kill a level 9 Eternal Lord with such a terrifying attack. However, it was still possible to inflict serious injuries on him. At this moment, his injuries were even more serious than those of City Lord Jing and the sect leader. Kill. However, Wang Xian was not careless. He roared and ordered the 4 colorful dragon pythons to attack the white-haired elder. Ah, I'm not reconciled. I'm not reconciled. I'm going to kill you. At this moment, another figure flew out. It was the sect leader of the Pet God Pavilion. He didn't seem to be seriously injured in the attack just now. He might have used his treasure to block some of it. He wanted to escape, but he found that he couldn't return to his eternal divine kingdom at all. Since he couldn't escape, he would kill the pet owner of the Dragon Palace. Kill with all his might. Chapter 2338. 2338 2338 killed an expert from Northern City. Hee, only the 2 of you are still alive. Don't even think about leaving today. This is the result of ambushing and hunting me down. Seeing that the 2 of them were still alive, Wang Xian's face was filled with awe. He swayed his 10,000-meter-long dragon body and charged straight at them. Now that their injuries were so severe, Wang Xian was not afraid of them at all. Roar. He let out a furious roar. The 5 elemental laws on his dragon claws flickered as he attacked the 2 of them. On both sides, 4 colorful dragon pythons were also attacking them. What kind of existence are you? At this moment, when the white-haired old man saw Wang Xian's form, his eyes were filled with shock. A human could transform into a creature that was 10,000 meters long. He is a dragon, a divine dragon. That's right, he is a divine dragon. That's not right. The divine dragon doesn't seem to be emitting rainbow rays of light. No, what exactly are you? The sect leader stared at Wang Xian, and his expression changed drastically. A powerful pressure and a terrifying figure. As a beast tamer master, he knew a lot of sea monsters, desolate beasts, and even space beast. He had seen the picture of the divine dragon in an ancient book. It was exactly the same as the current Wang Xian. However, the divine dragon in the ancient book was not colorful. Dead man, you don't need to know too much. Wang Xian roared and swung his dragon claw down. Damn it. You are a guy who has mastered 8 laws. How dare you kill me? Even if I am seriously injured, I can still kill you before I die. The white-haired old man roared furiously with a blood-red face. A huge mirror appeared in front of him. The white light attacked Wang Xian's dragon claws directly. Boom, boom, boom. While he was attacking, the 2 multicolored dragon pythons were also attacking him. His expression changed slightly. His body trembled as white mirrors appeared around him and revolved around him. Bang, bang, bang. The multicolored dragon python's attack landed on his body and was blocked by him. In front of him, Wang Xian's dragon claw landed in the white glow and was blocked too. As expected of an expert at level 9 of the Eternal Lord. Even with such serious injuries, he still possesses such powerful strength. Wang Xian's eyes focused. He opened his dragon head and a terrifying energy engulfed him. Go to hell. The white-haired old man had a ferocious look on his face. He was determined to die as he charged at Wang Xian with all his might. Roar. Roar. Wang Xian let out a low roar and the 2 multicolored dragon pythons immediately coiled around him. The 2 multicolored dragon pythons also attacked him without any regard for their lives. I'm just trying to fight for my life. Trying to kill me is just wishful thinking. A cold smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. He moved his body and waved his dragon claws. Streams of energy tore towards him. The 2 colorful dragon pythons were entangled around him. They were fighting with their lives and exchanging injuries for injuries. Get lost. The white-haired elder looked extremely embarrassed when he saw the 2 colorful dragon pythons attacking him without any regard for their life. This time, they were completely defeated. He never expected that all of this was a trap set up by the other party. An Eternal Lord level 8 powerhouse actually dared to set up a trap to kill their group of powerhouses. There was also that terrifying array formation, which had a total of 17 offensive arrays. In addition, there were 4 multicolored dragon pythons. What kind of existence did we provoke? This time, he felt some regret in his heart. The current him could kill an Eternal Lord rank 8 existence with his life, but would the result be like this? After killing a multicolored dragon python, he completely perish. This time, not only am I doomed, the entire northern city is also doomed. His face was filled with despair and malevolence. I can't accept this. I must kill him, kill him. The white-haired old man went crazy. He controlled the divine weapon and attacked Wang Xian crazily. The more he fought, the more severe the injuries on his body became. The multicolored dragon python didn't care about his life at all as it coiled around him. Wang Xian, who was in front of him, wasn't injured at all. On the side, 2 multicolored dragon pythons were coiled around the sect leader. The sect leader, who was already injured, could only endure the attacks of the 2 multicolored dragon pythons. As for the center area, at the center of the explosion, there were corpses lying there. There were 4 level 8 Eternal Lord experts and 1 level 9 Eternal Lord, City Lord Jing. He had fallen under the cover of the array formation. What's going on? What happened? Why did the array formation suddenly appear? And the terrifying energy that passed through it. At this moment, more than 100 people from the northern city were staring blankly at the massive array formation that had suddenly appeared in front of them. From the array formation, They could feel waves of power that made their hearts palpitate. The array formation that suddenly appeared, we, our Lord City Lord, the old Lord City Lord, and the others are most likely ambush. An eternal God Lord rank 7 old man's expression changed drastically as he growled in a low voice. In this situation, there was a 100% chance that they had been ambush. Since they dared to ambush them, they definitely had confidence. The old man's words caused everyone in the surroundings to panic. If something really happened to the City Lord and the old City Lord, then the entire northern city would be in a complete decline. I hope nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Some people mumbled. Haha, you bunch of damned fellows from Sky City actually dared to provoke Boss Wang. You must be out of luck now. HMPH, Boss Wang has set up dozens of formations. The people who are surrounded by the formations are probably going to die soon. At this moment, the voice of Invincible in battle techniques rang out. He saw Wang Xian trapping all the experts and kept praying in his heart. When he saw the people from the northern city, his face was filled with anger. He could not help but provoke them. Invincible in battle techniques, you are also the one who harmed our city in the sky. Our patriarch knows about this and will definitely not let you off. When the people heard his words, they looked extremely embarrassed. They looked at him with murderous intent. HMPH, who are you threatening? My patriarch is also a godly monarch. I, Invincible in combat arts, will be afraid of you. If you dare to sneak attack us, you are courting death. Invincible in combat arts roared at them without any fear. You. Everyone's expressions changed as they glared viciously at Invincible in combat arts. However, they did not dare to attack. There was no need to say if they could crack the defensive cardinal treasures on their opponent. Even if they were invincible in battle techniques, they didn't dare to attack rashly. Otherwise, if the land of battle techniques got angry, the northern city wouldn't be able to quell their anger. Humph, a bunch of trash. Invincible in battle techniques glanced at them with disdain, his eyes fixed on the true formation. Boss Wang, you mustn't be in trouble. He mumbled to himself. Die. You bastard, die. An extremely shrill voice rang out from within the formation. The old man's face was filled with malevolence as he attacked a multicolored dragon python in front of him, an attack that didn't care about his life. Die. When Wang Xian saw the white-haired old man's attack before his death, his face was filled with mockery. A dragon claw finger landed on his head when he was killing a multicolored dragon python. I actually died at the hands of a puny level 8 Eternal Lord. What a joke. As death approached, his face was filled with unwillingness. The white-haired old man had fallen. Chapter 2339. 2339 had completely formed an enmity with him. Even if you die, I will not let you have it easy. After the white-haired elder died, the sect leader roared with a ferocious look on his face. The current him was already in despair. He was the leader of the Divine Pet Pavilion, yet he actually died here. How pathetic, how laughable. Bang, bang, bang. A terrifying collision sound rang out. Wang Xian looked over and his eyes were filled with a cold expression. Another multicolored dragon python had died. However, he was also killed by another multicolored dragon python. I don't have any enmity with you guys. Since you guys want to kill me, I can only kill you guys. Wang Xian watched them die completely and muttered to himself, although I have suffered a great loss by killing you guys, I shouldn't suffer too much. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile on his face. He transformed into his human form and collected the corpses one by one. Now that he had transformed into the body of the divine dragon, it was too eye-catching. There were many experts who could recognize the divine dragon in this world. Wang Xian wasn't sure if they would covet his body of the divine dragon. Therefore, they wouldn't transform into the divine dragon until the very end. There are quite a number of treasures. With the addition of the 7 corpses, the few members of the Dragon Palace will be able to improve a lot. Wang Xian kept the corpses and looked at the corpses of the 2 colorful dragon pythons. I still lost a lot. Wang Xian mumbled. 1 living war pet could be exchanged for more than 20 corpses of the same level. However, I might not be able to obtain the corpses of the multicolored dragon pythons without their pursuit. A smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. With a wave of his arm, the only black hole disturbance formation dissipated. The formation is disappearing. At this moment, more than 100 people from Northern City were staring at the formation nervously from outside. An old man saw the fluctuation of the formation and clenched his fist tightly. Nothing must happen to the lords of Northern City. Boss Wang is invincible. Northern City must die. Boss Wang is invincible. Northern City must die. Not far away, Invincible Battle Technique felt the fluctuation of the formation and was extremely nervous. If Wang Xian died inside or was captured, his battle pet would be gone. Buzz. The formation dissipated completely and a figure was revealed. Ha ha ha, Boss Wang is invincible and the world. He has unified the greater world for thousands of generations. When Wang Xian's figure appeared, an extremely excited voice entered his ears. When he heard the Chinibia's words, Wang Xian's face turned black. This fellow. Oh no. It's over. The city lord is dead. The old city lord and the rest are dead too. All the lords are dead. However, when the people from the northern city saw Wang Xian's figure, their bodies trembled violently. A look of despair appeared on their faces. Run. Run back immediately. An old man immediately roared. Without any hesitation, he returned to his eternal divine kingdom. They were completely scared out of their wits. More than 100 people disappeared quickly. When Wang Xian saw them escaping, he didn't attack them. If they wanted to escape, he couldn't stop them. Boss Wang, you're too powerful. A figure pounced at him. He was almost hugging his thigh. Wang Xian kicked him and told him to stay away from him. Boss Wang, do you think we should go back now? That multicolored dragon python. He rubbed his hands nonchalantly and said with a smile, 2 of them are dead. I'll give you 1. Wang Xian looked at him and said, 2 of them are dead. Sigh, this bunch of darn beasts from the northern city actually killed 2 multicolored dragon pythons. They deserve to die for their crimes. Invincible said indignantly, but his mouth almost opened in excitement. He didn't care how many he killed. As long as he could get 1, it would be enough. The mount of an Eternal God Lord Tier 8. Imagine if he rode an Eternal God Lord Tier 8 colorful dragon python and walked around in the sky above the Battle Technique City. The female fans of the fan club should be able to break through 50 billion. He mumbled and couldn't be more excited. This time, it would definitely shake up the entire Tianzi continent. Then I'll have to trouble Boss Wang to help me tame it. Invincible Battle Technique opened his mouth and said to him, "You're not missing out." Wang Xian looked at him speechlessly and summoned a multicolored dragon python. It was rare for a level 1 Eternal Lord to ride on the level 8 battle pet of the Eternal Lord. Firstly, sea monsters were powerful, and they wouldn't submit to the weak, even if they were tamed. Secondly, the weak wouldn't dare to ride on a powerful battle pet. If the battle pet went berserk, they could easily kill their master. However, he wasn't afraid of invincible battle techniques. He had a defensive true treasure. It took him a full 10 hours to help invincible battle techniques tame the colorful dragon pythons. The main reason was that this guy was too weak, and it took too much time. Let's put away the battle pets first and see if there are still multicolored dragon pythons in this seaweed coral area. If there are, I will tame a few more. Wang Xian said to Invincible Battle Tactic. This time, if the 2 multicolored dragon pythons didn't die, Wang Xian would sell them when he went back. It was possible for him to directly break through to the 4th level of the Eternal Lord and level up 2 levels consecutively. His strength would reach the peak of the Eternal Lord. Boss Wang, leave it to me. In the future, let me know about this. I will definitely go through hell and back. At this moment, Invincible Battle Technique opened his mouth and looked like he was loyal. Go. Wang Xian waved his hand at him. This time, without Invincible Battle Technique, he might really die. It was only right to give him a colorful dragon python. Without him, it would be very difficult for him to obtain so many battle pet. What should we do now? City Lord Jing has fallen, the old City Lord has fallen, and even the level 8 Eternal Lord is left with only 1 person. Our northern city has completely fallen. At this moment, in the northern city of Sky City, more than 200 experts had gathered together. The leader was a pale old man. The old man was an level 8 Eternal Lord, and he was the last level 8 Eternal Lord in Northern City. He was the strongest one. He did not follow them this time. Instead, he was in charge of the Northern City. After everyone had escaped, they immediately gathered together to discuss the future. Sigh. The old man looked at everyone present and sighed heavily. His face looked even paler. The City Lord was dead, the old City Lord was dead, and he was the only level 8 expert. As one of the 18 cities in the sky, the Northern City was already extremely weak. The death of the old City Lord and City Lord Jing is a great event for us. We have to report this to the main city and the Patriarch. The old man said slowly, and everyone around fell silent. What would happen to Northern City next? The Patriarch and my father died for our Northern City. We can't let them die like this and tell the main city everything. When the time comes, you can say that they have obtained a map of the Earth Chilean Turtle Sea Monster and are going to subdue it. Then, they will be ambushed and killed by the pet owner of the Dragon Palace. You can also tell them about the array formation. At this moment, a middle-aged man suddenly roared with a ferocious face. His words made everyone's hearts tremble. Chapter 2340. 42,340 returned with a full load. In the hall, everyone was staring at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was the descendant of the old City Lord, the son of City Lord Jing, and now had the strength of an Eternal Lord Tier 5. In the future, he had a 90% chance of inheriting the position of City Lord. But now, the old ancestor was dead, his father was dead, and Northern City was practically dead in name. Either the other cities were allowed to merge, or the main city sent people to take over. How could the middle-aged man be willing to let this go? How could he not take revenge? The rest of the people were slightly silent. They would also suffer a huge loss from the loss of the Northern City this time. Alright, I support it. The owner of the Dragon Palace's war pet shop killed our City Lord. We must take revenge for this. We are not his match, but it's easy for the experts of Sky City to kill him. He only killed the City Lords by relying on schemes and tricks. Once the experts of Sky City attack them, he won't live long. An old man stood up. He used to be the trusted aide of City Lord Jing. Okay, do you have any objections? The Tier 8 old man in the center swept his gaze across everyone and said indifferently, "No objections. We must avenge the City Lords and pay with blood." Everyone immediately shouted, "Alright, we will immediately contact the City Lords." The old man nodded, waved at everyone, and immediately began to leave. The rest of the people immediately left. At the same time, the Sky City's main city. The Sky City in the void was incomparably vast. The main city was filled with palaces and god kingdoms. Even the god kingdoms of many eternal god lords were placed there. Here, the Sky City's god king was in charge. It was extremely safe to place the eternal god kingdoms there. "Commander, there's an urgent message from the Northern City." A middle-aged man stepped into a palace and spoke to a vast figure sitting on a throne. Wang. The figure waved his arm and the figure of an 8th-ranked elder appeared in front of him. "Where is your City Lord? What do you want to report?" The elder in the image of the figure shrouded in divine light asked indifferently. "The former Vice City Lord of the Northern City pays his respects to the commander. The commander has made the decision for our Northern City. The old City Lord, the City Lord, and the other rank 8 experts of the Northern City have all been killed by the traitors. We request the commander to help us take revenge." The elder directly knelt on the ground and said loudly, "Hey! What? Jing Yu and the Northern Kingdom of Jing have fallen? What on earth is going on?" The divine light fluctuated a little, and the voice of the figure inside turned cold. 2 Tier 9 Eternal Lord experts had fallen. This was a great loss to the entire Sky City, especially since they were the City Lords of the Northern City. Who dared to kill the experts of their Sky City? This was a complete provocation to the Sky City. Commander, father and ancestor were killed by the owner of the Dragon Palace's pet shop. A middle-aged man appeared on the screen and said angrily, "We will make the decision for the two city lords of the northern city. No one can provoke the Sky City." Dozens of seconds later, the figure shrouded in divine light said slowly, "Thank you, Commander. Thank you, Commander." The middle-aged man quickly thanked him. The figure shrouded in divine light waved his arm and the image disappeared. Buzz, buzz, buzz. With a thought, he passed the news to some people in the main city. "Commander Duan." Soon, 7 or 8 figures appeared in the hall and greeted the figure in front of them. "You all know the news. Let's talk about the situation in the North City," Commander Duan said to them. "I asked a person in the North City just now. There's a discrepancy in the information. The North City provoked the enemy first, and then they were tricked and killed." An elder said directly, "I don't care about anything else. It's true that the enemy killed our people. Those who killed us have to die. Although the North City has declined, it's still one of the 18 cities. The city in the sky can't be offended." An old man beside him said directly, "I've already sent people to investigate the identity of the owner of the Dragon Palace's war pet shop. Now, that formation is the key." One of the old men followed closely and spoke. After he finished speaking, the surroundings quieted down. This kind of formation can only be mastered by some of the powerful warriors of the Witch Formation Association. That lord from the mysterious sky domain also can't master it, right? An old man muttered. It is said that the Success Wizard Association has this kind of array formation. This kind of array formation can only be grasped by very few people in the Success Wizard Association. That lord has never seen him use it before, so it should not be possible. Commander Duan said slowly. What kind of existence was the Success Wizard Association? One of the top existences in the Greater Thousand World. Void God Emperor was overseeing it. The boss of the Dragon Palace War Pet should have a very big relationship with that lord. One of them frowned slightly. Regardless of whether he has a relationship or not, he has to pay the price for killing our people. I agree, but we can't do it openly. Send out the Sky War God Squad and find an opportunity to capture him. Inform the progenitor of this matter. The old men immediately spoke up. Even if they knew that the boss of the Dragon Palace's war pet had a very close relationship with a godly monarch, that formation was still worthy of them taking action. A formation that was extremely precious even in the Wizard Association, let alone to them. Revenge was just an excuse. In the underground sea, Wang Xian didn't know that he had formed a deadly enmity with the city in the sky. He also didn't know that a group of experts at the pinnacle of the Eternal Godlord was eyeing him. Invincible battle technique continued to search for the multicolored dragon pythons. Perhaps it was because of the battle, or there were only 4 multicolored dragon pythons in this area. Invincible continued to search outside for 5 days, but he did not encounter any multicolored dragon pythons. This made Wang Xian feel a little helpless. The level 8 sea monsters of the Eternal Lord were not cabbages in the depths of the underground sea. Otherwise, the humans in the Tianzi continent would have been wiped out long ago. Boss Wang, why don't we continue to search? Invincible did not slack off this time as he spoke to Wang Xian. There's no need. I've been out for more than 20 days. It's time to go back. Wang Xian shook his head. He would go back and level up first. Next time, he would be able to fight against the level 9 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. All right. Let's go back immediately. Invincible was a little excited when he heard Wang Xian's words. Although he had used up the lore fragment given to him by his ancestor this time, he had managed to exchange it for a multicolored dragon python battle pet. He had made a huge profit. Most importantly, he could pretend to be 13 again. Let's go. Following that, Invincible battle technique flew out excitedly. He flew out from the surface of the sea and headed straight for the nearest city in the city of battle technique. When he arrived at the city, Wang Xian did not follow him back to the city of battle technique. Instead, he went straight back to the Xian Heaven domain through the formation. The harvest this time was extremely huge for Wang Xian. Close to 400 war pets at the level of the Eternal Lord would be able to upgrade him by 1.5 levels or even more. Chapter 2341. 2341 Dragon Palace's war pets were well known. Wang Xian was making his way to the Xian Heaven domain through the teleportation formation. At the same time, Invincible Battle Technique was also making his way to Battle Technique City through the teleportation formation. Compared to Wang Xian, Invincible Battle Technique was very close to Battle Technique City. Furthermore, as the city where the Patriarch of Battle Technique City was located, he could teleport there directly. However, Invincible in Combat Arts did not return to Combat Arts City directly. Instead, he made 2 transfers to the nearest city in Combat Arts City. After coming out from the teleportation formation, Invincible in Combat Arts raised his head and scanned his surroundings. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he exuded an invincible aura. That's right, it was the aura of invincibility in the world. At this moment, he felt that he was an invincible existence. His body moved and he flew into the sky, looking down at the entire city. Ha ha ha, next, the entire world will be shocked by my invincible battle techniques. Invincible battle techniques could not help but laugh wildly. His body shook and he shouted, "Summon battle pets, multicolored dragon pythons." His voice resounded through the sky. Roar. In the next moment, an incomparably terrifying aura came from below him, and his roar resounded through the entire sky of the city. At this moment, the expressions of all the experts within the city changed drastically, and many of them revealed terrified expression. Under the body of Invincible Battle Technique, a multicolored dragon python appeared. He stood on the head of the multicolored dragon python, exuding an inexhaustible sense of elegance and arrogance. But at this moment, his mouth was wide open like a child's torn crotch. Invincible Battle Technique is passing by, and has disturbed all the elders. He saw many experts nervously soaring into the sky, and the corners of his mouth slightly curled up as he said indifferently, "What? Invincible in Battle Technique? It's invincible in Battle Technique, young master." When everyone heard this voice, a shocked expression appeared on their faces. "Dragon Python, let's go to the Battle Technique City." Invincible in Battle Technique lightly ordered. Roar roar. The multicolored dragon python let out a wild roar and directly flew in the direction of the Battle Technique City. Below, everyone revealed an extremely shocked expression. The Battle Technique was invincible. He actually had an Eternal God Lord rank 8 multicolored dragon python battle pet. This was an Eternal God Lord rank 8. In the entire Tianzi continent, there was no such terrifying battle pet. Everyone in the entire city was extremely shocked. Young Master Invincible is doing this on purpose, right? He came out from the teleportation array and summoned his battle pet to fly towards the Battle Technique City. It's completely unnecessary. He can totally teleport to the Battle Technique City. On the top of the tallest building in the city, a middle-aged man said to the old man beside him with a speechless face, "It's also good to let the entire Tianzi continent experience Invincible's strength." The old man looked at it with a smile instead. The news of Invincible riding on the colorful dragon python of the level 8 Eternal God Lord quickly spread on the AI. At this time, the main character was standing on top of the colorful dragon python's head excitedly, and his face was slightly distorted. There was nothing he could do, the multicolored dragon python's speed was too fast, and he was somewhat unable to stand steadily. But even so, his eyes were still filled with light. In front of us is the Battle Technique City. Take a circle, Dragon Python, with a roar, let everyone know that I, Invincible in Battle Technique, am coming. Invincible in Battle Technique patted the multicolored Dragon Python and said with a loud laugh, "Roar roar roar." The multicolored Dragon Python's roar shook the entire Battle Technique City. In an instant, all the experts in the Battle Technique City looked at the sky and immediately flew over. There were 5 or 6 peak Eternal God Lord experts flying over. It's invincible. Invincible on top. The peak Eternal God Lord expert who was the first to fly out was also stunned when he saw the multicolored dragon python's invincible battle technique. The last time he rode on the ice drill crocodile, which was a rank 5 Eternal God Lord, had already shocked them. Now he was an Eternal God Lord tier 8 multicolored dragon python, which was a full 3 ranks higher. Even peak experts like them couldn't get an Eternal God Lord Tier 8 multicolored dragon python battle pet. Such a battle pet would be considered a top-tier expert in the field of battle techniques. Invincible, this battle pet of yours, this. An old man couldn't help but ask. How are you, grandfathers? Haha, aren't you handsome? Wait a moment, I want to take a tour around the battle technique city. Invincible battle technique said proudly. He patted the multicolored dragon python and began to circle around the battle technique city. Below, many powerful figures rushed into the sky and stared at Invincible battle technique with their mouths agape. In the city, everyone raised their heads and slightly opened their mouths, filled with disbelief. Their invincible young master actually had an Eternal God Lord rank 8 multicolored dragon python battle pet. Big brother he. In the center of the battle technique city, Jean-F.A. Tianmai looked at her big brother and slightly opened her mouth. On the side, their father's face was a bit dark. His own kid got such a terrifying battle pet. Didn't it mean that his strength was even stronger than his? Invincible young master, you this. Where did this battle pet come from? On the lower seat, a beauty looked at the multicolored dragon python battle pet with infatuation and asked. Hee, it's just a level 8 battle pet of the Eternal Celestial Master. It was given to me by my boss Wang. Oh, Boss Wang is the boss of the Dragon Palace battle pet. Next time when I'm stronger, I'll look for him to exchange for a stronger battle pet. Seeing the beautiful lady staring at him, Invincible battle technique said nonchalantly. At this moment, he didn't mind giving Wang's yarn a boost. After all, he was a big shot now and needed to hug him tightly. Hiss. Is the Dragon Palace's war pet given to young Master Invincible? Below, everyone took a deep breath when they heard his words. Their faces were filled with shock. Brat, get your ass over here. At this moment, an incomparably huge palm wrapped around him and the multicolored dragon python. The powerful dragon python didn't have the slightest bit of control over it. Patriarch. The expression of Invincible battle technique changed slightly. He flew straight back to the mountain range behind him. The peak experts around the battle technique city smiled and immediately flew towards the Patriarch. Patriarch, why did you catch me here? After being caught into an ancient hall, Invincible battle technique looked at a fat old man in front of him and said with slight dissatisfaction. It ended before he even started to show off, which made him very unhappy. Shut up, how can you talk to your forefather? The chubby old man stretched out his hand and slapped his head. Invincible battle technique put on a bitter face and didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. Forefather. At this time, more than 20 Eternal God Lord rank 9 and peak experts walked in from the battle technique area. This was only a part of it. The chubby old man nodded and also knew why they came in. The level 8 war pet of the Eternal God Lord was indeed shocking. Even he was a bit surprised. Tell me, how did you get this war pet? Sitting on the main seat, the fat elder asked directly. Boss Wang gave it to me. Boss Wang is the boss of the war pet of the Dragon Palace. Invincible replied. I know how he got it. Why did he give it to you for no reason? The fat elder continued to ask. I can't tell you how he got it. I swore at that time that if I told you, my entire family would be wiped out. Invincible battle technique said with a bitter face. As soon as he finished speaking, the fat elder's face turned black, and the corners of the mouths of the experts from the land of battle technique twitch. Chapter 2342. 2342. Everyone knew about 2342 Dragon Palace's war pets. Bang! In a hall in the land of battle techniques, Invincible battle technique was slammed heavily onto the ground, leaving only his head. He looked at his ancestor with a bitter face, as if he was about to cry. He did swear that he would not reveal Boss Wang's secret. The fat elder in front of him had a dark face, and the other experts in the land of battle techniques also turned their heads speechlessly. Forefather, I helped Boss Wang attract the sea monsters. He captured and gave me a multicolored dragon python. Invincible said weakly. Where's the lore fragment on you? The fat elder glared at him and asked. I used the lore fragment, Invincible said. Seeing the forefather glaring at him fiercely, he did not dare to hide it. A group of people from Sky City ambushed Boss Wang. I was still hoping that Boss Wang would give me a battle pet. So I used the lore fragment and heavily injured 2 Eternal Lord rank 9 experts. I helped Boss Wang escape. However, that group of people did not end well either. Boss Wang set up an array and killed them all. As he said this, he secretly looked at his ancestors' expression. How many people attacked him? The fat elder was slightly stunned. His face was filled with confusion. 3 rank 9, but 2 were severely injured by me, and 4 rank 8. In order to kill them, 2 colorful dragon pythons died. These damn guys are coveting Boss Wang's treasures. Invincible said angrily. All of them? The owner of the Dragon Palace's pet shop seems to be very young. I didn't expect him to have such terrifying strength. An elder behind said with a face full of astonishment. That kid has a very deep relationship with Shen Tianzi. He might be the illegitimate son of Shen Tianzi. His talent is too monstrous. The fat elder raised his eyebrows and said indifferently. When he obtained an ice drill crocodile pet from Invincible Battle Technique, he had already checked Wang Xian's information. He had used all the information in the land of battle techniques, but he still couldn't find out where the young man came from. Mysterious, extremely mysterious. The corners of the mouths of the elders twitched when they heard the patriarch's words. That godly monarch was already so old, how could he still have a child? Scram. Go to the back room to cultivate. Don't even think about coming out unless you have comprehended the second law. The fat old man looked at Invincible Battle Technique and waved his arm, throwing it behind the mountain range. When everyone saw Invincible Battle Technique being thrown out, they smiled. Patriarch, I think Invincible's bloodline is about to awaken. At this moment, a white-haired old man saw Invincible Battle Technique disappear and asked in a low voice. Yes, it's about to awaken. I found a master for him, and that master happily agreed. At this moment, a smile appeared on the fat old man's face. The reason why the entire land of battle techniques placed so much importance on the invincibility of battle techniques and why he gave him such a defensive supreme treasure was not because he was the most outstanding Heaven's favorite in the past 100,000 years. He had seen many Heaven's favorites, but how could they be compared to the invincibility of battle techniques? The name Invincibility of Battle Techniques was personally coined by him. It meant that he had a chance to step into invincibility. That's great. When the elders heard the elder's words, excitement appeared on their faces. To be able to get close to that expert and become that expert's disciple, their land of battle techniques would at least be able to prosper for a few million years. And just as Invincible in Battle Techniques was thrown into the mountain range behind them, the name Invincible in Battle Techniques once again resounded in the entire Heaven's Selection continent. The main reason was that Invincible Battle Style rode a colorful dragon python from a city to the Battle Style city. What kind of existence was this colorful dragon python, an 8th level Eternal Lord tier battle pet? How many 8th level Eternal Lord tier battle pets were there in the entire Natural Selection continent? Who wouldn't be envious of such a precious battle pet? The entire AI was filled with pictures and videos of Invincible Battle Style riding a colorful dragon python, awe-inspiring the entire Tianza. Along with that, the Dragon Palace pet shop once again reverberated across the entire continent. In the sky above Battlemaster City, Invincible Battlemaster had also said that his pet was given to him by the owner of the Dragon Palace pet shop. If the last advertisement had let 1/3 and 1/4 of the Heaven's Selection continent know about the Dragon Palace pet, this time, almost everyone knew about it. Holy shit, how long has it been? He actually got an Eternal Lord level 8 pet. How powerful is he? Let's not worry about this for now. Contact General Wang immediately. If he can get a level 8 war pet of the Eternal Godlord, there must be a lot of others. He said that he would sell it to me this time. At this moment, at the front line of Blackwater, more than a dozen generals were sitting in a room and talking. They had also received the news from the AI. When they learned that Wang Xian had obtained the level 8 war pet of the Eternal Godlord, they immediately gathered together to discuss. The Marshal has given him the position of a general. This time, we should give priority to the war pet. Let's make it clear first, I want a multicolored dragon python war pet. One of the generals immediately said, "I want one too." When one of the generals saw it, he immediately said, "I want one too. Who knows how many colorful dragon pythons there are right now? You all want one." "No way, I was the first to say it. You have to give me one." "Who are you talking to?" "I'm your grandfather." The group of elders started arguing in the room. Sister Yaju, your AI here is so fun. We don't have such fun stuff over there. The communication compass isn't as good as the AI. The Federation royal family. The Federation was established 6 million years ago. Back then Tianzi continent didn't even have an undying emperor. Back then, the Yuan family had a few powerful scientists, leading the humans to fight against the sea monsters, becoming the only royal family on Tianzi continent. After the undying emperor-level sea monsters ravaged Tianzi continent, the humans suffered heavy losses. Back then, the Yuan family went out to ask for help, buying training methods and reforming. Humanity entered the training era. Because of the Yuan family's reform, Tianzi continent had 4 undyings. Even though they had power over the Federation, they still recognized the Federation and cooperated with the Federation's missions. One was the Yuan family. They were the biggest contributor to humanity in Tianzi continent. 2. The Yuan family had disciples from powerful forces outside as their teachers. This was especially true for the son of the current supreme leader of the Federation, who had been taken in as a personal disciple by the sect master of the Heavenly Dharma sect. The strength of the sect master of the Heavenly Dharma sect was much stronger than all the godly monarchs of the Tianzi continent. In the royal palace of the Federation, more than a dozen young men and women were sitting in a room. A girl was playing with the AI in her hand, exclaiming from time to time, "In terms of communication ability, the communication compass is more practical." A girl standing next to her said with a smile, "Hey, this is... Your Tianzi continent actually has such a powerful beast tamer master. To be able to tame an 8th-tier war pet of an eternal godlord, doesn't that mean that he has the ability of a peak master?" Suddenly, the girl looked at the information on the AI and said in surprise, Chapter 2343. 2343 2343 was upgraded once again. Oh! Taming an Eternal God Lord rank 8 war pet? There aren't many beast-taming masters of this level on our star source planet. Are you serious? There's actually such a powerful beast-taming master in the Tianzi continent. Hearing the girl's exclamation, a few figures walked over in shock and asked the girl, "This is real. Last time, our royal family bought a batch of war pets from him. There were more than 3,000 peak god-level war pets and more than 100 eternal god lord-level war pets. However, the last time, the highest level was eternal god lord rank 5. Yuan Yaju saw that they were full of interest. She looked at the contents of the AI and immediately said, "So powerful. Even our beast tamer masters can't take out so many war pets at once." A young man said with a shocked face. It was not easy to capture desolate beasts and sea monsters to tame war pets, unless one was lucky enough to find the nest of sea monsters. "I heard from Uncle Fu that this master is very powerful. In just a few months, he has sold more than 100 eternal god lord level battle pets. This time, there will probably be more." Yuan Yaju continued. "That's quite powerful. It's a pity that senior apprentice sister Lungyue did not come with us this time. Otherwise, she might have taken a look at senior apprentice sister Lungyue's battle pet." Senior apprentice sister Lungyue seems to have gone to the Magus Beast Pavilion to look for a beast tamer grandmaster. "I wonder if she can cure little Ari." Several young men and women were talking. "Wanqing, you are on good terms with senior sister Lungyue. Have you asked about little Ari?" A girl asked the girl who was holding the artificial intelligence. "I'll go ask now. If senior sister hasn't found someone to cure little AI, I'll ask her to come here and try her luck with a master from the Tianzi continent." As Wanqing said this, she took out a special communication stone plate. The colorful dragon python war pet of the Eternal Lord level 8. At the same time, in the city in the sky, more than a dozen people gathered together. Their eyes were also blinking as they read the information on the AI. Wang Xian didn't know that the Dragon Palace war pet had become famous because of its invincible battle techniques. He also didn't know that many people had already paid attention to him. Sell all these war pets to the front line of the Blackwater. Wang Xian had already arrived at the front line of the Blackwater after passing through the array formation. When he had just arrived, he saw more than 10 people waiting there. Wang Xian was slightly stunned when he saw that everyone was obviously waiting for him. General Wang is here. The harvest this time should be pretty good, right? Commander Xian walked over with a smile and said, General Wang, how many colorful dragon pythons did you obtain? Guardian Xian couldn't wait to greet him and ask, how did you guys know? Wang Xian was slightly stunned. On the AI. That kid from the Battle Techniques aristocratic family rode on the colorful dragon pythons to show off. Now, he knows. Commander Xian smiled and continued, General Wang, how about selling the battle pets to us at the Blackwater frontlines this time? Sure, I only have one multicolored dragon python in my possession now. I have quite a number of level 3 Eternal Lord level Xingwen flying fish, more than 200 of them. There are more than 100 level 1 to level 6 war pet. Upon hearing their words, Wang Xian understood in his heart and said to them, more than 300 Eternal Lord level war pets. Everyone was slightly shocked and their eyes turned hot. How many Eternal Lord level experts were there in the front line? More than 3,000, which was equivalent to a 10% increase in strength. This was a huge benefit for the entire Blackwater front line. As for the colorful dragon python, although they were a bit disappointed, they were already lucky to get it. General Wang, we want all of them. Commander Xian immediately said. All right, the price will be based on the rules set by the Dragon Palace's war pet shop. Wang Xian nodded his head. We might not have so many elixirs, and some of them are also needed by the soldiers on the front lines. A portion of them will be paid with the corpses of the sea monsters. Commander Xian muttered to himself. The corpses of the sea monsters? Wang Xian frowned slightly. How much do you want to pay for the corpses of the sea monsters? About 1/3. How about it, General Wang? Is that not possible? Commander Xian frowned and asked. The battle pets that Wang Xian brought out this time had completely exceeded their expectations. The frontline soldiers also needed elixirs. They couldn't bring out all of them, so they had to store some in reserve. Sure. Wang Xian nodded. 1/3 didn't stop him from upgrading his level by 1 level. However, if that was the case, he might be a little further away from the peak combat strength of the Eternal Lord. However, Wang Xian was not in a hurry. If he were to capture sea monsters again in the future, he would only come back when he could level up to level 4. That's good, that's good. A smile appeared on the faces of the generals. They returned to the residence of the Dragon Palace army with Wang Xian. They called the soldiers who had their battle pets over and asked Wang Xian to help tame them. Wang Xian kept the resources that they gave him and placed the corpses of the sea monsters into the Dragon Palace. In the next few days, he began to help the frontline soldiers tame the war pet. During this period, he also read the information on the AI. He was very satisfied with the method of being invincible in battle techniques. Now, the attention of the Dragon Palace's war pets shop had reached 100 billion people. Wang Xian announced the harvest in the Dragon Palace shop. However, he also announced that all of these war pets were sold to the Blackwater front line. This made many forces and experts look disappointed. At the same time, they were also shocked by the Dragon Palace's war pets that had acquired more than 300 Eternal Lord level war pet. From start to finish, the Dragon Palace's war pets had sold nearly 500 Eternal Lord level war pet. This shocked everyone. 3 level 9 corpses of the Eternal Lord, 6 level 8 corpses of the Eternal Lord, level 7 and level 6 corpses of the Eternal Lord, and the sea monster corpses from the Blackwater front line. With so many corpses, how many level 8 Eternal Lord level leaders can the Dragon Palace produce? After 5 days of training the sea monster for the soldiers from the Blackwater front line, Wang Xian looked at the harvest with a smile on his face. With so many corpses, at least 2 to 3 Eternal Lord level 8 members would be born in the Dragon Palace. It was a must to add a few more experts from the Dragon Palace to take charge. As for the rest of the levels, Wang Xian didn't plan to increase them for the time being. He wanted to increase the combat strength of the Eternal Lord level first. With so many resources, it shouldn't be a problem for 700 to 800 members of the Dragon Palace to be promoted to the Eternal Lord level. With that, the number of Eternal Lord level existences in the Dragon Palace could reach 1,200 to 3,000. I can also increase my own strength. Wang Xian looked at the rest of the elixirs and smiled. The elixirs in his hands were enough for him to increase his strength. After entering the room, he placed the elixirs into his mouth one by one. The dragon qi in his body was increasing at a terrifying speed. Boom! Soon, his body shook and a dragon's roar came from within his body. A terrifying might rushed towards his surroundings. Chapter 2344. 2344 2744 Immortal King Desolate Beast Cub. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Divine Dragon, Mandragon Unity. Level, Eternal God Lord Level 3, Divine Dragon Transformation Level 6. Origin, 17,500. Ability, Rule the Water Tribe below one's level. Devour living beings to extract origin. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method, Divine Dragon Transformation. Supernatural ability, Soul Capture, Spirit Possession, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Dragon Eyes. Aspect, 5 Elements Grinding, Dragon Kingdom in the palm, Dragon Head under the heavens, Dragon Body of 10,000 miles, Yin-Yang Poles, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Arms Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Swing. Law, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light and Darkness, Level 3. Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace owned, Level 7. Members of Dragon Palace, 165693. Phew, another level up. Wang Xian looked at his attributes with a smile on his face. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. The improvement in his strength was simply too fast. Stretching his body, Wang Xian flew towards the Shentian Academy with a smile on his face. It had been more than a month since he left the academy. It was time for him to return to the academy to see his student. Teacher. Hello, Teacher Wang. Upon arriving in Class 1, the students greeted him immediately. Okay. Wang Xian nodded to the girls. I will be staying here for 3 days. If you don't understand anything in these 3 days, you can come and look for me. Yes, teacher. The girls nodded immediately. Sichu Yang, have you finished eating the tentacles that you brought last time? I have some flesh and blood of the multicolored dragon python here. It will be enough for you to eat for a period of time. As Wang Xian spoke, he threw an interspatial ring to Sichu Yang. The flesh and blood here will be distributed according to the previous distribution. Huang Jujia, Yu Bingbing, and Xiao Lan, you 3 will be in charge of supervising it. Oh right, if the 4 of you have improved your abilities, look for me. I will continue to teach you the curse formation. As he spoke, he walked straight into a room. Thank you, teacher. The group of girls thanked Wang Xian excitedly. Sister Yang, the multicolored dragon python seems to be a level 8 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. It is the mount of the Invincible mount in the battlefield. Teacher actually brought us such precious flesh and blood for us to consume. Teacher is too good to us. Furthermore, Sister Yang, Jiao, Bingbing and Xiao Lan, I'm really envious of you. Teacher will teach you the curse formation in the future. It is very likely that he will give you a complete inheritance. When they saw Wang Xian enter the room, a group of girls surrounded Sichu Yang and the rest. They were a little excited and envious. A complete curse formation, the flesh and blood of the level 8 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. At the side, a girl was standing there in a daze. She was Tianxin, and she was also the student with the highest realm in Class 1. Her family background was not bad. She had been cultivating at home. The last time when something happened in class, she was informed by her classmates. However, she did not rush over at that time. In her opinion, this was a waste of her time. However, she never expected that Sichu Yang, Huang Jujia and the others, who were weaker than her back then, would be taught a terrifying and powerful curse formation by her teacher. With such a formation, which teacher in Shentian Academy would know how to use it? She had missed a huge opportunity and this made her extremely regretful. If she had known earlier. She looked at Sichu Yang and the others, who were surrounded by a group of students with a bitter expression. The resources that the teachers had given them, even her family couldn't afford it. Now, when the other classes and even the senior students of Shentian Academy learned about the conditions of the new student Class 1, their eyes were burning with passion. No one dared to provoke the new student Class 1 now. Not to mention that there were 4 curse array masters in the class, even their extremely powerful teachers who protected their own shortcomings. No one dared to provoke a group of girls. This teacher was someone who dared to kill a heaven's favorite in the academy. Buzz. 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 On the second day, Wang Xian's AI rang. He was slightly stunned when he saw the content. During this period of time, many people had contacted him, especially the group of girls who were the descendants of Shen Tian. When the 30 to 40 girls learned that Wang Xian was the boss of the Dragon Palace's war pet and that he had become a general at the front line, especially after the fame of the Dragon Palace's war pet had spread across the world recently, all the girls took the initiative to chat with him. However, Wang Xian didn't reply to any of them. He wasn't a Prince Charming who could be seduced by any random beauty. Fu Guo, going to the Federation's royal family? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. The one who sent the message was the powerhouse from the Federation's royal family who bought the war pet last time. This time, he was invited to the Federation's royal family. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before replying to him. He didn't have the time at the moment. Furthermore, Fu Guo didn't say anything. If there was anything, he could come to the mysterious sky territory to look for him. Your Highness, that person isn't willing to come. He said that if there's anything, he can come to the mysterious sky territory to look for him. At the same time, in the royal palace of the Federation, Fu Guo spoke bitterly to Yuan Yaju who was beside him. You royal family can't even call a single person over. At a side, a young man frowned slightly and said directly, Young Master Jiao, our Yuan family doesn't have a godly monarch in the Tianzi continent. Moreover, the other party's strength is extraordinary. If we want to call him over directly, I'm afraid only godly monarchs will be able to speak. At the side, an elder said with an apologetic smile, Senior Sister Leng Yu, why don't we make a trip to that mysterious sky domain? WN Qing, who was holding the AI, looked at a woman beside her and said. The woman was at least 7 meters tall, and her entire being was as cold as ice. She stood there as if she was a few kilometers away from the others. Since you're here, let's go take a look. The woman was holding a pet in her arms. It was similar to a cat, snow-white in color, and it didn't move at all. Leng Yu, even the ordinary grandmasters of the Witch Beast Pavilion couldn't cure Xiao Ari. How could a beast tamer master from the Tianzi continent cure Xiao Ari? The cold-looking young man who had just started speaking frowned slightly. The young man was dressed in black, and his lips were thin. His face was extraordinarily handsome, especially his head, which had a pair of white jade horns on it. Clearly, he wasn't a human. Senior brother Jiaoming, since you're here, let's go and take a look. WN Qing said to the young man. Jiaoming did not say a word, but his eyes looked at Leng Yu. Let's go, I'll have to trouble Sister Yaezhu. Leng Yu nodded and said to Yuan Yaezhu. No trouble. Yuan Yaezhu shook her head and looked at Fu Guo and the old man beside her. Miss Leng Yu, Miss WN Qing, young Master Jiao, let's go. Fu Guo said respectfully to them. Okay. They nodded and flew to the nearest teleportation array in the most luxurious fighter jet in Tianzi continent. Your Highness, we're going to the pet shop of Dragon Palace on Tianhai Island. Boss Wang is waiting for us there. An hour later, they arrived at the mysterious sky territory. Fu Guo said to Yuan Yaju. Okay. Yuan Yaju nodded and said a few words to WN Qing, Leng Yu, and the rest. In the mysterious Sky Academy, Wang Xian was slightly surprised when he learned that Fu Guo had rushed over so quickly. He didn't hesitate and flew straight to the Tianhai Island. Chapter 2345. 2345-2745 was a crafty businessman. He asked us to wait here. In the sky above the pet shop of the Dragon Palace, the newest fighter jet of the Tianzi continent was floating. In front of the shop, Jiaoming frowned and showed a trace of impatience. They had arrived, but the other party hadn't arrived yet. A master beast tamer of the Tianzi continent asked them to wait here. Beside them, Fu Guo and an old man smiled and didn't say a word. They are here. At this moment, Fu Guo saw the figure in front of him and said immediately, "Sorry, we're late." Wang Xian saw Fu Guo and the rest and said to them with a smile. His gaze swept across the crowd and landed on the pet in the arms of a lady. 1000 civet cat, level 1 immortal king cub. Status, heavily injured and dying. A system message entered Wang Xian's mind. A hint of surprise flashed across his eyes as he opened the door of the shop. "Please come in," he said to Fu Guo and the rest. "Your Highness, the two ladies and young Master Jiao, please come in," Fu Guo said respectfully to Yuan Yaezhu and Leng Yu. Everyone looked at Wang Xian with a hint of surprise in their eyes. They thought the owner of the Dragon Palace's war pet would be an old man. They didn't expect him to be so young. How could such a young man tame the level 8 war pet of the Eternal God Lord? The few of them entered the Dragon Palace's war pet shop with doubts in their heart. Such a shop at such a young age, how could he be a beast tamer master? Looks like we've come to the wrong place. Jiao Ming looked at the small shop and scanned the surroundings as he spoke coldly. Even Leng Yu frowned slightly without anyone noticing. His aura was too young, and the shop was too shabby in their eyes. Wang Xian heard the conversation at the back and didn't pay much attention to it. Boss Wang is able to tame the level 8 war pet of the Eternal God Lord. He is exceptional. Fu Guo, who was following behind, said in a low voice. Then I would like to take a look. Jiao Ming said in disbelief. Leng Yu, who was at the side, nodded and followed them in. Brother Fu, what's so urgent that you have to rush over? Wang Xian gestured to the group of people to sit down and said to Fu Guo, "It's the Heaven's favorites from the same sect as our prince who saw you taming a bunch of battle pets. We would like to see if you can help us with something." Fu Guo looked at Leng Yu and said, "Same sect as the prince?" Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. "Master Wang, can you take a look at my pet?" Leng Yu said to Wang Xian. However, she didn't pass the 1000 civet cat to Wang Xian. 1000 civet cat, a level 1 immortal king level desolate beast cub. It's heavily injured. Wang Xian said to her. If not for the system notification, Wang Xian wouldn't have known that an extremely beautiful pet would be an immortal king level battle pet. This was the first time he had seen such a level battle pet. "Oh, Master, can you help me take a look?" Leng Yu's eyes were filled with surprise. Her attitude changed drastically as she stood up and said to him, "Let me take a look." Wang Xian nodded and said to her, "All right." Without any hesitation, Leng Yu handed it over immediately. The fact that the other party could recognize her pet at a glance and sense that it was severely injured was proof of its ability. Wang Xian took over the 1000 civet cat and used his hand to sense it. "Give me an elixir. It's the highest grade one you have on you," Wang Xian said to her. "Huh? You want an elixir before treating him? That's against the rules." Jiao Ming frowned and said to Wang Xian. His first impression of the pet owner of the Dragon Palace was not very good. "This is the most precious elixir I have on me. Elixirs of too high levels are not of much use to me. I have a lot of god stones." Leng Yu took out an elixir without hesitation and said to him, "Eternal Lord level 9. Wang Xian was not too surprised when he saw her taking out such a precious elixir. A lady who could own a level 1 immortal king war pet must have an extraordinary background. Wang Xian kept the pill and looked at his attributes. He then transferred 7 units of Origin Dragon energy into the 1000 civet cat's body. One level 9 Eternal God Lord pill could bring him 10 units of Origin Dragon energy. It was not a loss at all. Buzz buzz. When the Origin Dragon energy entered the 1000 civet cat's body, its body trembled and a ray of light flashed across its body. The position of its heart started to fluctuate slightly. "This is..." Leng Yu's face revealed an excited expression, and she stared at her pet nervously. "It's actually getting better." Jiao Ming was slightly stunned, and a shocked expression appeared on his face. Even a beast tamer grandmaster from the Star Origin planet and a grandmaster from the Witch Beast Pavilion could not treat it, but he was actually able to make it get better. This was simply unbelievable. His injuries are too serious. If you want to treat him completely, 150 level 9 Eternal Lord tier pills should be more than enough, Wang Xian said. In fact, Wang Xian had consumed 100 level 9 Eternal Lord tier pills and was able to make the 1000 civet cat recover completely. However, he had to charge a fee as well. 50 level 9 Eternal Lord tier pills were his reward. If he could obtain these 50 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs, his strength would be enhanced immediately. Can I really recover all of them? Leng Yu revealed an excited expression and said to Wang Xian, "Sure." He nodded his head. "Look at how relaxed you were just now. Isn't 150 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs too expensive?" Jiao Ming frowned and said from the side. The young man's hand had recovered a little just now. "It was too easy. Up to you." Wang Xian passed the pet to Leng Yu and shrugged. The value of 150 elixirs was indeed not low. However, compared to the value of a young immortal king, it was totally worth it. As long as Xiao Ari can be cured, 150 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs is not much. However, I don't have so many elixirs in my hands. I will pay with divine stones. Leng Yu said hurriedly. Divine stones are not enough. I only want elixirs. Wang Xian shook his head. Divine stones could not be converted into dragon qi. If he were to consume too much of it, his level would drop. However, he was a little surprised that he could take out divine stones that were worth 150 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs. If he had known earlier, he would have asked for 200 elixirs. What a loss! Leng Yu frowned when she heard his words. She looked at Yuan Yaju and the old man and opened her mouth slightly. "Miss Leng, we can take out the divine stones, but we really can't take out so many Eternal Godlord level pills." The old man shook his head bitterly. The royal family of the Federation focused on technology. Although there were many disciples cultivating now, they really couldn't take out 150 level 9 Eternal Godlord pills. They could afford the divine stones. "Can you help me treat Xiao Ari first? I will return to the Star Origin planet immediately to get the elixirs." Leng Yu looked at Wang Xian and said, "Master Wang, the royal family can vouch for you. We will definitely not lose a single elixir for you," Yuan Yaju said from the side. Fu Guo and the rest also looked at Wang Xian. "No." Wang Xian shook his head. "Can we still go back on our word? We can still afford these elixirs." Beside him, Jiao Ming stared at him and said, "All right, once the elixirs are ready, just ask Brother Fu to contact me." Wang Xian ignored him and said directly, How can we still owe you anything? Why would our Heavenly Dharma sect care about your elixirs?" Jiao Ming's expression changed slightly when he saw Wang Xian ignoring him. He said coldly, "Is your Heaven Dharma sect that powerful? All right then. The price of 200 level 9 elixirs of the Eternal Lord has increased." Wang Xian chuckled. Initially, he felt a little regretful when he saw how straightforward they were. Coincidentally, this fellow did not respect him. Hence, he decided to increase the price. All businessmen are evil. Wang Xian sighed in his heart. This is not my fault. Chapter 2346. 2346 2746 Star Beast Planet. What? When Jiao Ming heard Wang Xian's words, he was stunned. Then, his face turned red with anger. Increase the price. This fellow actually increased the price directly. He increased the price by 50 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs and increased it by 1/3. Was it because he said a few more words? You don't want to. He glared at Wang Xian furiously and clenched his fists tightly. If you have any more objections, I will continue to add more. Of course, you can also choose not to treat me. Wang Xian looked at him indifferently and interrupted him. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. I can't treat you anymore. Ever since this fellow came in, it was as if he had been dissatisfied. Since that was the case, he wanted to let him know whose territory this was. You're courting death. I might not be able to produce 200 level 9 eternal elixirs. Jiao Ming was burning with rage. He glared at Wang Xian with a face full of anger. However, Leng Yu interrupted him directly. She looked at him coldly and turned to Wang Xian with a frown. Although her background was extraordinary, 200 level 9 Eternal Lord elixirs was not a small number. Her family had already paid a heavy price to get Xiao Ari for her. She did not want to trouble her family anymore. 150 pills was almost her limit. 200 pills was a bit difficult. However, I can give you a pass to enter Starbeast Planet. In 5 days, Starsource Planet will send some people to Starbeast Planet. Although there are nearly 100 slots in your Tianzi continent, such slots are very precious. Moreover, you are a beast tamer master. In the Starbeast Planet, you have the opportunity to tame more battle pets. Xiao Ari was obtained by an expert on the Starbeast Planet. After pondering for a moment, Leng Yu opened her mouth and spoke. Yuan Yaju, Wn Qing, and the rest frowned slightly. They didn't expect Wang Xian to actually raise the price from the ground. Chempate. Jiao Ming snorted coldly and didn't say anything. He could get a spot on the Starbeast Planet as well. To him, this item was not very precious. There are nearly 100 spots in the Tianzi continent. There are spots in the Xian Heaven domain as well? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and looked at Fu Guo with curiosity. Fu Guo looked hesitant. He looked at Leng Yu and nodded his head. I can give you a map of the desolate beast lair. Leng Yu continued, I don't know exactly how many level 8 desolate beasts lair maps there are. Alright, it's a deal then. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and nodded his head. After all, he was a good person. If it wasn't for the name of the dragon, he wouldn't have raised the price so easily. Moreover, he was very curious about the possibility of obtaining a young king god in this place. Alright, in 3 days, a group of you will return to the Star Origin Planet with us. Leng Yu took out a badge and handed it to Wang Xian. On the badge was a picture of the Heaven Gate. This was the pass to the Star Beast Planet. Leng Yu looked at Xiao Ari in her arms, then looked at Wang Xian before turning around and leaving. Everyone immediately followed behind him. Star Beast Planet, pass? To obtain the young immortal God King Desolate Beast, I will ask Xuanzhen to guard them later. Wang Xian looked at their departing figures and looked at the pass in his hand. As for whether there would be any danger, he was not worried. The other party had a favor to ask of him. If the Heavenly Dharma Gate was really so strong, they would not harm him because of these things. The harvest this time is pretty good. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face. With a move of his body, he flew straight to the front line. Leng Yu, a beast tamer master from the Tianzi continent, dares to raise the price on the spot. He is simply courting death. In the aircraft, Jiao Ming spoke indignantly. When he thought of Wang Xian's expression just now, he was extremely furious. To think that he, a member of the Heavenly Dharma sect's Jiao tribe, was deliberately humiliated by a fellow from the Tianzi continent. This was the greatest provocation to him. Alright, I'll have to trouble you to speak less. As Jiao Ming spoke, he was once again interrupted by Leng Yu as she gave him a cold glance. Not only did the Beast Tamer Grandmaster from the Starsource Planet not have any solutions to his pet, even the Wizard Beast Pavilion Grandmaster that she went to look for did not have any solution. That Wizard Beast Pavilion Grandmaster spoke frankly. It was not that little Ari could not be cured. The Wizard Beast Pavilion had powerful Grandmasters that could cure him, but the price of inviting that Grandmaster to treat him was something that she could not afford. Jiao Ming looked at Leng Yu, his expression constantly changing. Young Master Jiao, that boss Wang has divine King Shen Tianzi behind him. He has a very deep background and strength in our Tianzi continent. Fu Guo hesitated for a moment before reminding him from the side. Jiao Ming, I don't want any more accidents to happen. That Master Wang has extraordinary abilities. One more friend is better than one more enemy. Leng Yu said indifferently. Jiao Ming sat there without saying a word. His expression was a little ugly. Chief Xian. At the front line of Blackwater, Wang Xian went straight to Chief Xian when he arrived. General Wang, please come and sit. Chief Xian greeted Wang Xian with a warm face. He was naturally very polite to a beast tamer who was highly valued by the ancestor and was very strong. Sorry to disturb you, Chief Xian. I have something to ask you. Wang Xian went straight to the point. I'm not disturbing you. General Wang, just tell me what it is. You don't have to be polite. Chief Xian said it directly. It's about the Star Beast planet. Wang Xian asked him. Star Beast planet? General Wang wants to go there. There should be more than a dozen spots in the Xian Heaven domain. It seems to be in the near future. If you want to go there, I'll get someone to get you a pass. Chief Xian pondered. Someone gave me a pass. Where is this Star Beast planet? What's the situation? I heard that there might be a young immortal king there. Is that true? Wang Xian asked curiously. If my luck is really heaven-defying, I might really be able to get a young immortal king. Hee. Xian Zhenshou smiled, introducing him. Star Beast planet, it's a planet not too far away from the Star Source planet. It's a planet without humans. There might have been humans there before, but they were eaten by desolate beasts. Now it's a desolate beast planet. On that planet, desolate beasts roam freely. There are all sorts of treasures. There are about 20 to 30 powerful undying God King desolate beasts. The rest of the eternal God Lord desolate beasts are in the million. A long time ago, Star Beast planet and Star Source planet were enemies. Some powerful desolate beasts often flew to Star Source planet to wreak havoc. An ancestor of Star Source planet killed Star Beast planet's strongest beast king. However, that ancestor was heavily injured and died not long after. The Beast King's undying god country is located within the space crack of Star Beast planet. Every 5 years, the space crack would be at its weakest. At that time, the entire Star Beast planet's God King level desolate beasts would head to the Beast King's god country. During this time, the entire Star Beast planet will be relatively safe. Every 5 years at this time, Star Source planet will send warriors to search for treasures. There were once warriors who obtained an undying God King cub inside. Shenzhen Guardian explained in detail. Chapter 2347. 2347 2347's Unfriendly Gaze. From Shenzhen's explanation, Wang Xian had a rough understanding of Star Beast planet. Star Beast planet was a desolate planet, where the desolate beasts were wreaking havoc. The Beast King of Star Beast planet had been killed by the Godly King of Star Source planet, and the undying Godly Nation was still within the Star Beast planet. After breaking through to the undying Godly King level, the Godly King could open up space in the void and hide his undying Godly Nation in it. Reaching the undying God Emperor level, it was even harder to kill. Beast King was an undying God Emperor level warrior. After being killed, the Star Origin planet's God Emperor couldn't enter Beast King's undying God country. Right now, the undying God country was occupied by the Star Beast planet's God Kings and desolate beasts, especially the space crack that happened once every 5 years. They could enter Beast King's undying God country. During this period, it was the safest time for humans to enter the Star Beast planet. Normally, they could enter too, but it was extremely dangerous. The moment they were targeted by an undying God King level desolate beast, they would definitely die. This was the best time. However, the undying God King didn't dare to enter at this time, because the moment the Star Beast planet's God Kings and desolate beasts sensed the arrival of an outside God King, they might leave the Beast King's undying God country. Therefore, only powerhouses below the immortal God King could enter. Most of them were the eternal God Lords who entered during this period to look for opportunities. Due to the relationship between the royal family of the Federation, the 4 major factions could have more than a dozen spots each year. There were many reasons why the royal family of the Federation could still command the 4 factions without the immortal God King overseeing them. Wang Xian had a slight understanding in his heart. After leaving Shenzhen's place, he flew straight into the academy. Teacher Wang, let's go. 2 days later, Wang Xian arrived at the teleportation formation of Shentian Academy. More than a dozen people had already arrived there and greeted Wang Xian. Deputy Dean Shen, are you leading the team this time? Wang Xian walked over with a smile and swept his gaze across the 16 people. One of the Deputy Dean of Shentian Academy had the strength of a peak Eternal Lord. 2 Eternal Lords were at level 9, 4 were at level 8, and the rest were all at level 7. All of them were top-notch experts. Hehe, that's right. This time, I will be leading the team. Let's go, Teacher Wang. Let's go to the Federation's royal family first. Vice President Shen nodded his head. Everyone nodded at Wang Xian as well. Now, regardless of whether it was the upper echelons of the Shentian Academy or the upper echelons of the frontline, everyone knew about Wang Xian's strength and background. They were all polite to him. "All right." Wang Xian nodded his head. "It's not my first time going to the Star Beast planet. It's a little dangerous. However, be careful and there won't be any casualties. However, remember not to go near the territory of the Beast King." Vice Principal Xian reminded Wang Xian. "All right." Wang Xian nodded his head and replied. Going to the Star Beast planet was a good opportunity for them. Every time they went there, they would be able to obtain many good things. The probability of casualties was very low. Sometimes, there might not be any casualties even after a few consecutive trips. Of course, the strong ones would also die if they were not careful. The group of people rushed towards the royal family of the Federation through the teleportation formation. Half an hour later, they appeared in a palace. Beside the teleportation formation in the palace, there were already many people who had arrived. "Boss Wang, ha ha ha, Boss Wang, over here." Before Wang Xian could take a look around, an excited voice sounded. He followed the voice and saw the figure of Invincible battle technique. "Boss Wang, I didn't expect you to come as well." Invincible battle technique ran over with a face full of excitement. "Why are you here too? With your strength, where are you going to deliver vegetables to?" Wang Xian glanced at him indifferently and looked around. The people from the land of battle techniques and the people from the sword domain had arrived. He, I didn't want to come initially. However, the ancestor told me to make a trip to the Star Source planet. The ancestor told me to find a master for me to understand a little. Invincible battle technique smiled and explained to Wang Xian. "Heh. He found a master for you." Wang Xian was astonished. Invincible battle technique was so well liked by his ancestor. His ancestor could also teach him. Why would he find a master for him? "It seems that I really have fate with Boss Wang. This time, Boss Wang, shall we move together?" Invincible battle technique said to Wang Xian. "That's possible." Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. It was pretty good to have invincible battle technique around. At the side, the people from the aristocratic families of battle technique saw invincible battle technique talking to Wang Xian. They also smiled and looked at Deputy Headmaster Xian and the rest. They walked over to greet him with a smile. The experts from the four major forces were basically familiar with each other. Many of them knew each other. Buzz. At this moment, more than a dozen figures appeared at the teleportation formation. More than a dozen people swept their gaze across the surroundings. The old man in the middle landed on Wang Xian and suddenly raised his eyebrows. "City Lord it's that kid." Beside him, an old man with a pair of faint wings on his back whispered to City Lord in the middle. "Well, I didn't expect him to go." "It's true. As a beast tamer master, this is a good opportunity." City Lord nodded lightly. The owner of the Dragon Palace's war pet is at level 8 of the Eternal Master. If there's a chance, capture him. He immediately sent a voice transmission to his 15 subordinate. "It's City Lord Some of the 15 people were slightly surprised, while others' eyes flickered. Among them, the weakest one was at level 7 of the Eternal Lord. Wang Xian, who was chatting with Invincible battle technique, noticed the stares from everyone and raised his eyebrows slightly. When he saw that they were the experts from the city in the sky, his eyes lit up. "Boss, it's those guys from the city in the sky. Those guys don't look friendly at all." Invincible battle technique also looked over and said in a low voice, "Find an opportunity to kill them." Wang Xian squinted his eyes slightly. Naturally, he could feel the hostile gazes from the other party. The other party should have known that he had killed the people from Sky City. He wasn't sure if he could take revenge or not. However, judging from the other party's gaze, it was definitely not friendly. In that case, if there was an opportunity, Wang Xian would definitely not let go of the opportunity to kill them. "Is everyone here?" At this moment, a voice sounded. Everyone looked over and saw an old man walking over with more than 20 people. Beside him, there were a group of young men and women with the name of the Cold Moon Jiao Dragon. "Brother Yuan, everyone is here. We can set off now." Deputy Headmaster Xian looked over with a smile and said, "All right, let's set off now." Old Yuan nodded and whispered a few words to Jiao Ming, Leng Yu and the others. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, a 1,000-meter-long fighter jet flew over from the sky. The entire fighter jet was like a whale, emitting a blue light. Buzz. A door opened under the fighter jet. "Everyone, please come in. With the speed of the Heavenly Whale Universe airship, we'll reach the star source planet in a day." Old Yuan gestured to everyone with his hand. Chapter 2348. 2348 2348 Temporary Continent. Let me remind everyone. After arriving at our star source planet, everything will be done according to the rules of our heavenly law sect. Otherwise, all of you will not be able to shoulder this responsibility. Everyone entered the large cabin of the Heavenly Whale spaceship. Jiao Ming swept his gaze across Wang Xian and the rest as he reminded them lightly. "We know the rules." A few powerhouses from the 4 major forces nodded their heads. They naturally understood the rules when they were in someone else's territory. "All right, everyone. There's a restaurant and a tea room here. Everyone has their own rooms as well." Elder Yuan pointed to the surroundings and gave a brief introduction. This was not the first time for many of them. They were also very familiar with this place. "Boss Wang, let's go. Let's go to the tea house and have a chat." Invincible battle technique pulled Wang Xian along as they walked to the side. "Boss Wang, look. Isn't that ice-cold beauty beautiful? TSK, she's simply too beautiful. Moreover, her strength seems to be a little stronger than mine. She's indeed worthy of being a disciple of the Heavenly Dharma sect." Invincible battle technique moved in front of him as he narrowed his eyes and said softly, "If you like her, go and chase after her." Wang Xian said with a smile, "Ahum, I can consider this. However, isn't it bad for me to give up on my 10 billion backup beauties just like that?" He frowned and looked like he was in a difficult position. "How is the strength of the Heavenly Technique sect?" Wang Xian sat on the table and asked Invincible battle technique. "I'm not too sure about its actual strength, but it seems to have 8 or 9 immortal godly monarchs. The Heavenly Dharma Gate is not the overlord of the star origin planet. The overlord of the star origin planet is called Overlord." "How is it? Isn't its name very domineering? My ancestor said that I will join the Overlord in the future. A very awesome powerhouse wants to take me in as his disciple." Invincible battle technique said proudly. "Overlord sect?" Wang Xian was slightly curious. The strength of the star origin planet is considered above average in the greater world. Overlord sect is also considered to be relatively strong among the few thousand planets in the surrounding area. Overlord sect has more than 10 godly monarchs overseeing it. "It's very strong." Invincible battle technique said to him, "This time when we enter the Star Beast planet, you will definitely benefit from following me." Wang Xian said to him, "Hee, you can, Boss Wang. The multicolored dragon python is too huge and it's not suitable to be my mount. Boss Wang, please help me get a small mount this time." "That would be cool. Maybe our luck is heaven-defying and we will be able to meet the young immortal king." "That would be awesome." Invincible's eyes lit up as he said that. "Do we really have a chance to obtain the young immortal king?" Wang Xian looked at him. He didn't really believe in obtaining the immortal king cub. Even if someone had obtained it before, the probability of that happening was very small. Of course. Throughout history, there have been 2 people who were lucky enough to obtain the immortal king cub. TSK, they are practically the children of fate. Invincible Gate Clan said with some envy. "Since history? How long has history been?" Wang Xian asked. "Over 1,000,000 years, and there seems to be more." Invincible Gate Clan said. When Wang Xian heard his words, he stopped talking. The chances of this happening were slim. The immortal king Desolate Beast was not stupid either. How could it let a human obtain its own offspring? The spaceship was flying at a terrifying speed. From time to time, it would perform a black hole warp. Wang Xian chatted with Invincible battle technique for a while before returning to his room to rest. A day passed very quickly. Leng Yu did not look for Wang Xian midway. Jiao Ming did not look for trouble with Wang Xian either. He knew that if he were to look for trouble now, Leng Yu would definitely be angry. The last time, he embarrassed him. If there was a chance in the future, he would return it. However, it was not now. Everyone, we have already reached the star source planet. After disembarking from the airship, someone will take you. At this time, Old Yuan's voice rang out. Everyone walked down from the universe airship. Tianzi continent had an interstellar teleportation formation leading to the star source planet, but the consumption of teleportation was too huge. If there wasn't an emergency, normally it wouldn't be open. Another point was that the star source planet was even bigger than Tianzi continent. The teleportation formation led straight to the center, and the place where they gathered was in the void next to the star source planet. It would take 7 to 8 hours to teleport over. It would be better to take a space airship. This is the temporary continent. Wang Xian and the rest walked out of the space airship. Deputy Dean Xian introduced them. The temporary continent was located above the star source planet. At this moment, there were at least 100,000 people in the surrounding area. Senior sister Leng Yu, senior brother Jiao Ming, junior sister Wn Qing. At the front, a young man greeted Leng Yu and the rest respectfully. Okay. Leng Yu nodded at the young man and walked towards Wang Xian. I'll bring some elixirs over later. This is the communication stone plate. I'll contact you. Leng Yu passed a communication stone plate to him and said faintly, all right. Wang Xian nodded and took the communication stone plate. Heh. Everyone was slightly shocked when they saw the honorable female disciple of the Heaven Dharma sect talking to Wang Xian. Invincible battle technique widened his eyes and was filled with astonishment. I will come and look for you soon, Leng Yu said to Wang Xian and left. Oh my god, Boss Wang, you are amazing. I'm impressed. Invincible looked at Wang Xian with admiration and kept clicking his tongue. Don't think too much. She just came to me to treat one of her pets. Wang Xian patted his shoulder and looked around. I know. Invincible looked as if he knew everything. He, Master Wang, you will be able to return with a full load after entering the Star Beast planet this time. If you have a battle pet, can you sell some to us, the aristocratic family of combat arts? Master Wang, please take care of our sword domain. If you have any war pets, we will buy them directly. An elder from the combat-style aristocrat clan walked over with more than a dozen people from the sword domain. He said to Wang Xian with a smile on his face, if we can tame some war pets, we will naturally put the two clans first. Wang Xian replied politely, haha, that's great. Then, we would like to thank you, Master Wang, everyone said with a smile. This guy is so confident in taming his battle pets. It seems that he is confident. Humph. An old man from Sky City snorted beside him. We have come to this temporary continent. Once the Star Beast planet is opened, we can enter at any time. We will follow him then. City Lord, he transmitted his voice to the people around him indifferently. They had already informed the commander, and the experts of Sky City about the Dragon Palace's pet shop's arrival on the Star Origin planet. The main purpose of entering the Star Beast Star this time was to capture the Dragon Palace's pet shop owner and interrogate him about the array formation. Compared to the harvest of the Star Beast Star, it was nothing compared to obtaining that array formation. The people of Sky City looked at each other. This time, they had to obtain it. Once they got it, it would be a huge opportunity for the whole Sky City. Chapter 2349. 2349 2349 was invincible and fearless. Star Beast planet is about to open. The temporary continent has gathered over 100,000 people. Entering the temporary continent forbids any fighting, otherwise the consequences will be your own. When Star Beast planet opens, you can fly there at any time. I also want to remind everyone, when Star Beast planet opens, a large number of Heavenly Law Sect and Overlord Sect disciples will enter. When you meet the Heavenly Law Sect and Overlord Sect disciples, no one is allowed to attack them. If we find out that you dare to kill the disciples of the two sects, you'll all have to wait for our Star Source planet's undying Emperor's rage. Cold Moon Jiao Ming and the others left. The youth's gaze swept over all of them as he reminded them. Deputy Dean Yuan and the others nodded. Here, they didn't dare to break the rules. Otherwise, the entire Tianzi continent wouldn't be able to withstand their fury. Boss Wang, the two of us will be working alone. We won't be working together with these old guys. It's boring. Invincible in battle technique whispered to Wang Xian when he saw the young man from Heavenly Dharma sect leaving. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head and scanned his surroundings. Due to the opening of the Star Beast planet, many people had gathered on the temporary continent. There was a trading market on the entire land with a radius of more than 100 kilometers. One could buy many specialties, weapons, and elixirs from the planets here. There were many experts who came here, and there were also many natural treasures. He could feel the powerful energy coming from the surroundings. Deputy Headmaster Xian, I'm going to take a look around. I won't be going with you guys. Wang Xian said to Deputy Headmaster Xian. All right, be careful. Deputy Headmaster Xian nodded his head. Third Grandpa, I'm with Boss Wang. Don't bother about me. Invincible Battle Technique said to the people from the Battle Technique clan. The elders couldn't bother about him either. They didn't ask him to take care of his safety. Invincible Battle Technique had a defensive treasure given to him by the ancestors. They all knew about it. Let's go inside and see what good treasures there are. Invincible in Battle Tactics said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head and walked straight into the temporary trading market on the mainland. The hunting cannon on planet Varja. 1 spear and 1/8 wisps of divine fire desolate beast weapon. I'll sell it for a bargain. Earth treasure. The speed of drilling is comparable to that of an Earth-type desolate beast at the peak of the godly state. Come and take a look. As soon as he entered the trading market, he heard voices. Wang Xian looked over curiously and noticed that there were some simple shops selling technological weapons. This is interesting. Wang Xian looked over one by one and smiled. The power of technology was also very strong in this bright land. A ruling-level space strategic weapon created by a powerful robot could fight against an emperor god. As he walked forward, Invincible Battle Technique kept chattering beside him. Wang Xian even wondered if this guy was a woman. Star Beast Hall, Boss Wang, Enemy's shop. Walking to the center, Invincible Battle Technique suddenly pointed at a shop in front of him and said, Star Beast Hall? A shop that sells pets. Wang Xian looked over and raised his eyebrows slightly. That's right, Boss Wang. The owner of the Star Beast Hall is also the only beast tamer grandmaster on the Star Source planet. He is also one of the few beast tamer grandmasters in the surrounding tens of thousands of planet. This fellow is extremely lucky. In the history of Star Beast planet, there are only 2 people who obtained one of the godly king desolate beasts. It is also because of that young godly king desolate beast that he became a beast tamer grandmaster. Invincible Battle Technique said enviously. Let's go in and take a look. Invincible Battle Technique said as he walked towards the Star Beast Tower. Roar. The moment he entered, sounds of beasts roaring could be heard. Wang Xian took a look. As expected of the immortal godly king who opened a pet shop, there were many battle pets inside. There were hundreds of them at the godly stage and dozens of them at the eternal godly master stage, from eternal god lord level 1 to level 8. There are even level 8 battle pets, hehe, as expected of Grandmaster How Long. After all, he is a Grandmaster, an undying god king level existence. Grandmaster How Long Star Beast Hall sells hundreds of eternal god lord battle pets every year, and there are many eternal god lord level 9 battle pet. The surrounding people were discussing in shock. A few hundred eternal god lord battle pets a year, this was not a small number. It was a relatively long process for a beast tamer to capture a desolate beast, tame a desolate beast, and help a customer tame a desolate beast. It would take at least 10 days for an ordinary beast tamer master to capture and sell a desolate beast. A Grandmaster beast tamer might be able to capture a desolate beast very quickly, but it would take at least a day to tame it. The reason why Wang Xian was able to tame it so quickly was 90% due to his dragon might and divine dragon blood. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to make a battle pet fight for him so quickly, only a few hundred a year. That's nothing much. Invincible Battle Technique curled his lips and his face was filled with disdain. From the looks of it, Even an immortal God King level beast tamer was nothing much. Nothing much. You have the right to say that. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from behind. Invincible battle technique was slightly taken aback. When he spoke just now, he was very quiet. When Wang Xian heard this voice, it sounded slightly familiar. He turned around and looked. Among the 4 young men and women, one of them was Jiao Ming, who had just left not long ago. HMPH, what has it got to do with you? Invincible battle technique looked at Jiao Ming and retorted coldly. It has nothing to do with me. However, you don't have the right to say that the Star Beast Hall is just SOSO. Jiao Ming dared to retaliate when he saw invincible battle technique. He stared at him coldly. Jiao Ming wanted to return with Lung Yu earlier, but he was rejected directly. With a bad look on his face, he brought a few people to look for a friend. He didn't expect to run into Wang Xian and invincible battle technique. When he heard invincible battle technique's words, he naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity to mock him. However, he didn't expect this fellow to actually dare to insult him. A powerful beast tamer master didn't give him any face and endured it. Now, a random nobody dared to offend him? In the entire Star Origin planet, how many people in the same generation dared to provoke him? What a busybody. What did I, invincible in battle techniques, say? Invincible in battle techniques curled his lips and didn't take him seriously at all, even though he knew that the other party was a disciple of the heavenly Dharma gate. You brat, I think you want to die. Jiao Ming's face changed and a trace of killing intent appeared in his eyes as he shouted sternly. You said that I want to die. Humph, you have the qualifications. Invincible Warcraft's face turned cold when he heard his word. As the most outstanding disciple of the heavenly Dharma gate, he was never afraid of anyone. Moreover, so what if the other party was a disciple of the heavenly Dharma sect? The Patriarch had said that the Overlord sect's top experts would take him in as a disciple soon. Who was afraid of who? Damn it, you're provoking my bottom line. Jiao Ming's aura condense. Roar roar roar. His aura surged, causing the surrounding battle pets to roar. Everyone was slightly shocked and immediately looked over. Chapter 2350. 2352,350 Invincible battle technique was fearless. What's going on? Someone actually dares to cause trouble here? Is it the disciples of the Heavenly Law sect or the Overlord sect? Or, when Jiao Ming's aura surged up, everyone around him revealed shocked expressions. They all knew the rules of the temporary continent. Anyone who dared to cause trouble here was simply courting death. When the two of them saw Jiao Ming and Invincible in battle, they thought that they were all disciples of the Heavenly Dharma sect and the Overlord sect. Only they dared to fight here. Provoking your bottom line? It's your dog that has a mouse. Do you really think that Invincible in battle would be afraid of you? Invincible in battle also stared at Jiao Ming with an arrogant and untamed face as he said disdainfully. He had only said one sentence in a low voice, but the other party actually dared to yell at him. Did he think he was made of mud? He was invincible in battle techniques and had nothing to fear. You're courting death. Jiao Ming growled, gritted his teeth, waved his arm, and directly attacked Invincible in battle technique. They're fighting, they actually dare to fight here. The surrounding customers were slightly startled, and hurriedly took a step back. Peng. Invincible in battle techniques also directly met with Jiao Ming's fist without the slightest fear. Stop. At this moment, a terrifying pressure came over and headed straight for unrivaled battle technique. Huh. At the side, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw that the pressure only suppressed one person, unrivaled battle technique. However, he didn't say anything as he watched from the side coldly. Bang! Jiao Ming's fist collided with unrivaled battle technique. In an instant, his face turned red. Hee, you piece of trash still want to clash head-on with me. Unrivaled battle technique laughed. Jiao Ming's defense could not break through his defense. The two of them were of the same level. When they collided, unrivaled battle technique could not feel any pain. Stop, you dare to make a move on us? Do you want to die? The cold shout from earlier rang out again. This time, unrivaled battle technique felt that the surrounding air was somewhat frozen, and his body was imprisoned. He made the first move. When Invincible Battle Master saw the three people from the Star Beast Tower walking over, he immediately pointed at Jiao Ming. The middle-aged man in the lead among the three glanced at him with some surprise. "Big brother Jiao, what happened?" Beside the middle-aged man, a young man walked to his side and asked. "This guy said that the Star Beast Tower is nothing but this. After I scolded him a few times, he actually dared to continue provoking me." "A guy from the Tianzi continent, who gave you the courage?" Jiao Ming looked at Invincible Battle Technique and said coldly, "Oh. The people from the Tianzi continent said that our Star Beast Tower is only SOSO? The young man raised his eyebrows and stared coldly at Invincible Battle Technique. "Apologize immediately and get out." "You want me to get out? Do you really think that I want to come in? The next time you invite me in, I won't come in either. It's just a battle pet with the highest level of an eternal godlord of level 8. Who cares?" When Invincible Battle Technique saw that the two of them were in cahoots, he revealed an angry expression. With a look of disdain, he gestured to Wang Xian and prepared to leave. "What big words! No one can humiliate our Star Beast Tower and walk out safely. Chempate." Invincible Battle Technique had just turned around when a strong pressure pressed down on him. A soft and cold shout entered his mind, but these attacks were all blocked by the true treasure defense on his body. Unrivaled Battle Technique sensed that the other party wanted to heavily injure him, and his face was extremely embarrassed. "What? You still want to keep me here?" Unrivaled Battle Technique turned his head and said coldly, "Chem, it seems that you have a protective true treasure on you. No wonder you're so arrogant." The middle-aged man from the Star Beast Tower had a glint in his eyes. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at Invincible Battle Technique. Is this guy courting death? He actually dares to be so arrogant in the Star Beast Tower. When the surrounding people saw the middle-aged man making a move, they looked at Invincible Battle Technique. He was courting death. Making a move again? Do you really think that Invincible Battle Technique is afraid of you? Invincible Battle Technique saw the middle-aged man making a move again. His body trembled and a hole appeared behind him. The head of the multicolored dragon python that was the size of a room slowly extended out. Crack, crack, crack. The building of the Star Beast building emitted cracking sounds. The formation on it was flickering. Alright, is the magnificent Star Beast building so arrogant? Wang Xian was a little helpless when he saw Invincible's plan to release his war pet. He stretched out his hand to stop him. At the same time, he moved his palm and a stream of grey energy shot toward the middle-aged man's claw. Bang! The two streams of energy collided and the claw released by the middle-aged man collapsed and dissipated. There are actually accomplices. No wonder they are so arrogant. The middle-aged man's face turned cold the moment he saw Wang Xian making a move. "Jiao Ming, don't cause trouble for no reason." Wang Xian ignored the middle-aged man and said coldly to Jiao Ming. It was obvious that Jiao Ming saw that Wang Xian was deliberately targeting the invincibility of his battle techniques. "All of you are causing trouble in the Star Beast Tower and saying that I don't want to cause trouble. Master Wang, trouble comes from the mouth." Jiao Ming stared at Wang Xian with a cold expression. "Regardless of your status, you will have to pay the price for insulting our Star Beast Tower. Don't think that just because you have some strength, you dare to be unbridled in front of us. Be careful that you won't even know when you die." The young man beside him stared at Wang Xian coldly. He merely said that he was only SOSO. Why didn't he let him speak? In my opinion, the Star Beast building is indeed SOSO. Wang Xian looked at the young man with a hint of coldness in his eyes. "And someone like you dares to threaten me?" As he spoke, he took a step forward. His draconic aura charged directly at the young man. Bang bang bang. The young man's face instantly turned pale, and his body retreated backward. "You're courting death. You actually dared to injure a disciple of our Star Beast Hall." The middle-aged man's expression changed drastically, and with a wave of his arm, a long blade appeared in his hand, and beside him, a 10-meter-long battle pet that was the size of a tiger appeared. "You really think we're easy to bully?" Seeing that they were ready to attack, Invincible battle technique was furious. His body shook, and the multicolored dragon python's dragon head appeared again. Bang! 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 All the buildings in the temporary continent were built temporarily. Even though they had set up an array formation, under the powerful body of the level 8 multicolored dragon python, they slowly exploded. Roar! Roar! A beast roar sounded, and the faces of everyone in the shop changed slightly. They're fighting. They're actually fighting right here. Oh no, that young man who's only a rank 1 Eternal God Lord actually has an Eternal God Lord rank 8 battle pet. How is this possible? Everyone's expression changed slightly, and they hurriedly flew back. Peng! The Star Beast Tower collapsed under the gorgeous dragon python's enormous body, and the people in the market outside looked over in astonishment. Damn it, immediately notify the experts of our Star Beast Tower. The middle-aged man holding a long saber saw how arrogant the other party was, and his expression changed slightly when he saw the Tier 8 battle pet of the Eternal God Lord. He immediately said to the youth below. Chapter 2351. 2351 Undying Emperors appeared. The temporary continent trade market was only a temporary place. Star Beast Tower only had one warrior guarding it. His strength was only an Eternal God Lord level 8. With the rules here, no one dared to cause trouble here. An Eternal God Lord level 8 warrior guarding it was enough. However, he didn't expect that there were actually 2 people that dared to be so arrogant. These 2 guys are really more arrogant than the other. However, if you dare to cause trouble here, you will have to pay a heavy price. If you offend the Star Beast Tower, the Star Beast Tower will not let you off either. You are courting death. At the side, Jiao Ming's expression changed when he saw Wang Xian and Invincible battle technique attacking him directly. Especially when he saw Invincible battle technique actually possessing an 8th level war pet of the Eternal God Lord, a hint of fire flashed in his eyes. He didn't expect that he would be in such a situation when he was dissatisfied with Wang Xian and deliberately berated another young man. However, he was happy to see such a situation. The corner of Jiao Ming's mouth curled up slowly, and a cold expression appeared on his face. This time, let's see how you guys will end up. Someone is actually causing trouble in the temporary continent. What's going on? They are actually fighting in the trading market. They don't even care about the Star Origin planet at all. There are people fighting here. Let's go. When the multicolored dragon python broke through the houses of the Star Beast building, some people from the other parts of the trading market looked over in shock. There were also some people from the Star Origin planet who flew over with gloomy expressions. How dare you destroy our Star Beast building? Today, we will definitely kill all of you. The middle-aged man was burning with rage. He glared at Wang Xian and Invincible battle technique with an ice-cold expression as he roared. He flew straight into the sky and the level 8 aura of the Eternal Lord erupted from his body. You guys attacked me first. Do you really think I'm easy to bully? What's so great about the Star Beast Tower? I'm also a disciple of the Overlord sect. Invincible battle technique stood on top of the multicolored dragon python's head and roared without any fear. A disciple of the Overlord sect. The middle-aged man from the Star Beast Tower who was holding a long saber in his hand was clearly stunned. Doubt appeared in his eyes. Hey! That's a disciple of our Overlord sect. Why haven't I seen him before? Not far below, a group of more than 10 young men and women had also noticed the situation here. When they heard the words invincible in battle techniques, they were slightly stunned and their faces were filled with doubt. Logically speaking, a fellow disciple who could possess the level 8 war pet of the Eternal Divine Lord should know him. This guy really knows how to argue. At this moment, even Wang Xian was a little speechless. It was uncertain whether he could become a disciple of the Overlord sect. Buzz. Just when everyone was stunned, everyone felt a faint pressure coming from the sky. Following that, everyone saw 2 figures appearing in the sky above the Star Beast building out of thin air. An old lady and a girl. The old lady had a faint smile on her face, her purple hair. Her golden clothes covered her body. Her entire person was filled with a terrifying pressure. That is Heavenly Law Sect's Supreme Elder Leng, Undying God King. Below, many people looked at the old lady's appearance, Their expressions changed, revealing respect and respect. Greetings, Grand Supreme Elder Lung. The law enforcers of the Heavenly Dharma Gate who were hurrying over immediately called out respectfully. Yes. Grand Supreme Elder Lung nodded his head faintly. Master Wang, I have prepared the pills. Please come with us to treat Xiao Ari. The girl beside the old lady was Leng Yu. He looked at Wang Xian and said, all right. Wang Xian took a glance at Grand Supreme Elder Leng of the Heavenly Dharma Gate and immediately nodded his head. My goodness, Boss Wang, what's going on? At this moment, Invincible Battle Technique, who was standing on top of the multicolored dragon python, opened his mouth slightly and asked with a face full of shock. Did I tell you that he has a pet that he wants me to treat? I can treat it. Wang Xian took a glance at him and flew towards Leng Yu. Boss Wang, bring me along. Bring me along. Invincible Battle Technique shouted in a hurry. He kept the multicolored dragon python and followed closely behind. Hee. Greetings, Grandma Godly King. Greetings, Grandma. Flying to the side of the old lady, Invincible Battle Technique greeted her with a respectful smile. The old lady glanced at a round plate on his chest. Her eyes flickered and she nodded her head faintly. Are you all right? If you're all right, we'll leave. Leng Yu shot a cold glance at Invincible Battle Technique and asked Wang Xian, I'm fine. Wang Xian nodded his head. I'd like to say a few words. Invincible Battle Technique suddenly spoke from the side. Trash from the Star Beast Hall. I, Invincible Battle Technique, am merely praising you guys. Compared to our boss Wang, all of you are trash. Look, Grandma King is looking for our boss Wang to treat her battle pets. Why didn't she look for you guys? HMPH, rubbish. Following that, what made Wang Xian, Leng Yu, and the rest a little wrong was that Invincible in Battle Techniques cursed at the people from the Star Beast Tower below. Even the old lady was slightly stunned. With a wave of her arm, she disappeared with him. Rubbish. By the time Invincible said the last word, they had already arrived in an ancient-looking courtyard. Invincible smacked his lips and did not finish his sentence. That old thing from the Star Beast Hall is very petty. Kid, don't get crushed to death. The old woman swept a glance at Invincible and said coldly, Hee, Grandma Godly Monarch, I'm not afraid of Invincible. My patriarch is also a godly monarch. Furthermore, it won't be long before I have an even more powerful master. Afraid of him? Compete. Invincible raised his head slightly and said confidently, he did not lie. He indeed had the confidence to do so. Patriarch Godly Monarch doted on him abnormally, and an even more powerful master did not lie. He was also very clear about Star Beast Hall. He was not afraid at all. Fatty in combat techniques is your patriarch? The old woman suddenly narrowed her eyes as she stared at Invincible in combat techniques and asked, Hee, he is the ancestor. Grandma Godly King, do you know my ancestor? Invincible Jean Fa replied with a smile, I'm not familiar with him. The old lady replied indifferently and looked at Wang Xian, are you confident that you can cure 1,000 civet cats? She asked. 100%. Wang Xian nodded his head. He's quite capable. Back then, I found a few beast tamers but they were unable to cure him. Even if they could cure him, they wouldn't be able to afford the price. The old lady smiled and nodded. She looked at Leng Yu and said, I didn't tell you back then because I was afraid that you would be heartbroken and despairing. It's great-grandmother. Leng Yu nodded and walked to the side to carry Xiao Ari out of the house. Give me the pills first. I need to consume a large number of pills. Wang Xian took the 1,000 civet cat and said to him, all right. Leng Yu nodded and passed the pills to Wang Xian. It will take at least 5 hours. Give me a room and you guys can wait outside. Wang Xian said to them. Leng Yu nodded and brought him into a room. Chapter 2352. 2352 2352 to its peak. Just as Wang Xian was healing Cold Moon Battle Pet, Invincible Battle Technique was waiting in the courtyard with a bored look on his face. At this moment, in the Temporary Continents trading market, everyone was gathering around the Star Beast building in astonishment. Especially the words that Invincible Battle Technique had said before he left. His voice was very loud. At least, everyone in the temporary continent could hear it clearly. What exactly happened? Someone actually dared to call the Star Beast Hall trash? Not very clear. It seems to be a disciple of the Overlord sect. Just now, the Heavenly Dharma sect's Grand Supreme Elder Lung came and took the two away. One of the two who was taken away seems to be a beast tamer master. Grand Supreme Elder Lung asked him to treat his pet. If I'm not wrong, it's to treat the Thousand Civet Cat. Thousand Civet Cat? The Thousand Civet Cat can't even cure the Grandmaster of the Star Beast Hall. Can they cure it? They should be able to cure it. That's why one of the young men said that the Star Beast Hall is trash. This is a blatant provocation. Around the Star Beast Hall, a group of people were discussing with curious faces. Everyone knew about the Thousand Civet Cat Divine King Cub. The Heavenly Dharma Gate's prodigy Leng Yu even offered a reward for treating his pet. Even the Star Beast Hall's Grandmaster had failed to cure it. Now that a Grandmaster who could cure the Thousand Civet Cat had appeared, his companion had directly said that the Star Beast Hall was trash. However, this was a provocation, and there was even disdain in it. It was a complete insult to the Star Beast Hall. No one is allowed to make a move on the temporary continent. Otherwise, they will be killed without mercy. A group of Heavenly Dharma Gate overlords and enforcers looked around and warned coldly. If not for the godly monarch coming over, they would definitely have severely punished those who made a move. However, since the godly monarch was here, this matter would be over. It seems to be Invincible and Grandmaster Wang just now. Not far away, the expressions of the people from the land of battle techniques and the mystic heaven domain change. It shouldn't be a big deal. A middle-aged man from the land of battle techniques said. Let's inform the Patriarch. The old man next to him hesitated for a moment and said, at present, Invincible battle technique had a very high status in the battle technique aristocrat clan, so it was best to inform the Patriarch about this matter. Buzz. In front of them, in the interior of the Star Beast building, the middle-aged man commanded a few people to clean up the dilapidated shop, standing there with a gloomy face. Around him, 3 figures flashed and appeared. 3rd senior brother, 4th senior brother, 5th senior brother. The middle-aged man hurriedly bowed respectfully. What happened? The 3 figures glanced around and asked with cold faces. Senior brother, there are 2 people. The middle-aged man's face changed and he immediately recounted what had happened. They said that our Star Beast Hall is trash. The 3 people's faces were filled with murderous intent, and their faces were gloomy. Who is the other party? 3rd senior brother asked coldly. I'm not too sure. The other party was taken away by Heavenly Dharma sect's Supreme Elder Leng, and it seems that he went to treat the Thousand Civet Cat. The middle-aged man shook his head. Treat the Thousand Civet Cat? How is it possible for a beast tamer master to treat the Thousand Civet Cat? The battle pet of the Lung family is too heavily injured, and even master couldn't treat it. The 3 people were slightly stunned, and their faces were full of disbelief. Masters, one of the 2 young men is a beast tamer master, and he can indeed heal the Thousand Civet Cat. At this moment, a flood dragon standing next to a young man from the Star Beast building said. What happened just now made him a little disappointed, and also made him very jealous. It was rare for the godly king to come and pick him up to heal the battle pet. Oh, is that so? The 3 people's eyes were filled with astonishment. A master can treat the injuries of a divine king cub, this. Why don't we inform master? 5th senior brother hesitated for a moment before saying. The other 2 nodded. This matter was also a big matter. To be able to treat a divine king cub, this beast tamer master's reputation would definitely be very high in the future. Some people would even say that it was very powerful to be able to treat a war pet that even a grandmaster could not treat. This was also a form of stepping on their master. The 3 immediately passed the news to their master. Oh! In a valley located on the Star Source planet, there were tens of thousands of desolate beasts in a huge valley. 1/5 of them were even at the eternal God Lord level. Although these desolate beasts had not been tamed, if the godly monarch were to personally take action, the speed would be very fast. An elder dressed in a 100-beast suit looked at the message his disciple sent, and a hint of curiosity flashed in his eyes. A master can actually cure the 1,000 civet cats. His eyes flashed slightly, and with a move of his body, he instantly disappeared. Wang. In the quaint courtyard, Invincible battle technique sat in front of a bench, while Leng Yu and the old woman sat together. Crocodile God King, what's the matter? The old woman looked up and suddenly said, Elder Leng, I heard that you found the master who cured the 1,000 civet cat. I want to come and take a look. Crocodile God King landed in the courtyard with a smile and said, Don't disturb me. The old woman said to him indifferently, Don't worry. I just want to see what kind of master is so powerful. I want to learn from him. Croc God King smiled and nodded his head. The old lady did not speak nor did she greet him. Croc God King smiled and looked at Invincible Star Beast Tower. Then, he looked at the house in front of him. With the old lady by his side, he did not dare to investigate rashly. When Invincible Star Beast Tower saw him, he shrunk his neck slightly. His eyes were sparkling. He was the trash of Star Beast Tower. At this moment, he had to keep a low profile. Crack, crack, crack. At this moment, Wang Xian, who was in the array formation in the room, was surrounded by the phantom of the divine dragon. Waves of majestic aura surged out from his body. The surrounding array formation had completely concealed his aura. At the side, a small cat the size of 3 adult hands rolled its eyes and lay affectionately at Wang Xian's feet. Wang Xian had already completely healed the 1,000 civet cat. He would use the rest of the pills to increase his strength. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading your speed to level 4 of the Eternal Lord. You have comprehended the 4 levels of the Yin-Yang and 5 elements laws. The system's voice sounded and Wang Xian opened his eyes. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Yin-Yang and 5 elements Divine Dragon, Mandragon Unity. Level 4 of the Eternal Lord, the 6th form of the Divine Dragon Transformation. Origin, 1/500. Supernatural ability, rule the water race below their own level. Devour living beings to extract origin. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method, Divine Dragon Transformation. Supernatural ability, soul absorbing, spirit attaching, Yin-Yang 5 elements Dragon Eyes. Aspect, 5 elements Great Mill, Dragon Kingdom in the palm, Dragon Head under the heavens, Dragon Body of 10,000 miles, Yin-Yang Poles, Yin-Yang 5 elements Arms Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Swing. Law, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, light and darkness, level 4. Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace owned, level 7. Dragon Palace members, 165,693. The speed of the upgrade is simply too fast. The level of the Eternal Lord is at level 4, the peak combat strength of the Eternal Lord. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. To the peak. Chapter 2353. 2,353 enemies from all sides. It's time to get out. Wang Xian felt his own strength and smiled. He extended his arms to the 1,000 civet cat beside him. Meow. The 1,000 civet cat let out a meow and jumped into Wang Xian's arms. Hee. With the 1,000 civet cat in his arms, Wang Xian walked out immediately. Heh. When they saw Wang Xian walking out with the 1,000 civet cat in his arms, the old lady, Leng Yu, and the rest stood up immediately. Their eyes were fixed on his arms. Xiao Ari. When Leng Yu saw her pet stretching out its head to look at the surroundings, an excited expression appeared on her face. She immediately shouted, Meow. The 1,000 civet cat meowed at her. Wang Xian opened his arms and the 1,000 civet cat leaped lightly into Leng Yu's arms. Alright, Xiao Ari is really alright. Leng Yu hugged the 1,000 civet cat excitedly and was so happy that she cried. The old lady used her hands to sense it, smiling too. An undying emperor desolate beast cub, its value was not an exaggeration to say, it was comparable to a pretty good life planet. The entire heavenly Dharma gate only had 8 undying emperors and 1 god emperor. In the entire greater world, he was a powerful warrior. Like Crocodile God Emperor, he could become a god emperor because he got a god emperor cub back then. One could imagine the value of the 1,000 civet cat. It's really healed. The Krak king was also surprised. He looked at Wang Xian with curiosity. I'm a little curious. What method did you use to heal the Thousand Civet Cat? The Thousand Civet Cat was attacked by the godly king level dire beast's laws and its consciousness was in a deep sleep. If it wasn't for the protection of its bloodline, it might have already died. It's very difficult to cure it. King Krak looked at Wang Xian and asked him, It's just a small trick of mine. Wang Xian looked at King Krak and said with a smile, Tell me, I will definitely treat you well. If you are interested, you can join our Star Beast Tower. King Krak looked at Wang Xian and said directly, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Wang Xian shook his head. King Crocodile raised his eyebrows. A hint of displeasure flashed across his eyes. All right, King Crocodile. If there's nothing else, you can leave. I'm still here. The old woman beside him looked over and said indifferently. King Crocodile frowned and smiled. I'll take my leave then. He took a deep look at Wang Xian and disappeared. Hehe, Boss Wang is still the best. Even the Crocodile God King's Beast Tamer Grandmaster couldn't cure the baby godly king. Boss Wang cured it easily. Invincible Battle Technique walked over and said with a smile, A pseudo-beast tamer Grandmaster is indeed inferior to little brother. The old woman said to Wang Xian calmly, Grandma Godly King, what is a pseudo-beast tamer Grandmaster? Invincible Battle Technique was slightly taken aback as he asked curiously, It means that I have never tamed an immortal godly king level battle pet. There are many such pseudo-beast tamers. A true beast tamer Grandmaster would be the best in the entire greater world. The old lady explained. Invincible Battle Technique and Wang Xian nodded their heads slightly. It didn't mean that one could be called a true beast tamer master just because one's strength had risen to the immortal king level. A true beast tamer master was a powerful existence that could tame an immortal king level desolate beast. There weren't many beast tamers of this level in the entire greater world. Any one of them would be famous even if they were placed in a region. Senior God King, the Thousand Civet Cat has been cured. We'll be leaving first. Wang Xian did not stay here for long. He took his leave immediately. All right, the Star Beast planet is about to open. I will send you there. The old lady nodded. With a wave of her arm, she brought the two of them to the sky above the temporary continent in an instant. Dong dong dong. The Star Beast planet is about to open. Everyone, get ready. Just as they arrived in the sky, a voice resounded across the sky. Buzz. Disciples of the Star Beast Tower, come over. Just as the old lady brought Wang Xian and the rest to the sky above the temporary continent, a voice rang out from the Star Beast Tower in the trading market. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. A look of reverence appeared on their faces as they immediately arrived at the top floor. More than 30 people stood respectfully in front of them. They lowered their heads and waited for the order from the Crocodile God King who was sitting in front of them. Old 3, Old 4, bring some people to capture that young beast tamer master. Old 5, bring some people to train normally, tame the desolate beast. Crocodile God Emperor said indifferently. Yes. The group in front immediately nodded. Go. Crocodile God Emperor waved his hand and the group immediately left. To be able to cure the Thousand Civet Cat's injuries, it's definitely not simple. If I can control it, it should be of some help to me. Unfortunately, even if all the Star Beast Star Undying Godly King Desolate Beasts head to the Beast King God Country, I cannot enter rashly. A punk, it's your honor that I want your things. I won't let you down, don't blame me if you don't know what's good for you. Looking at the group of disciples leaving, Crocodile God King's eyes gleamed, thinking to himself, I heard that Punk was taken away by the Undying Godly King to heal the young Undying Godly King. Looks like this Punk isn't simple. Follow him. This time, we must capture him. It was not only the Crocodile God King who coveted Wang Xian's ability to heal the young immortal king. A group of more than a dozen people from Sky City also transmitted their voices. This time, they had already made up their minds. They would focus on capturing Master Wang. Over there, I can sense his aura. A middle-aged man looked ahead and saw two figures in front of him. He immediately approached them. Boss Wang, there are so many people entering. Wang Xian and Invincible battle technique were left in front by the old lady. The two of them scanned their surroundings. There were at least 100,000 people. An immortal king-level existence from Star Beast Planet had entered the Beast King God Country. This was the safest place on Star Beast Planet. On the Star Source Planet, even if the disciples of the two major factions were at the deity level, there were about 70,000 to 80,000 people who went in to train. Factions like the Star Beast Building also sent out quite a number of disciples. Especially for beast tamers, this was a very good opportunity. Over 100,000 people are placed in the entire Star Source Planet. After they are completely separated, it will be very difficult for them to meet each other. Wang Xian looked at a planet in the distance and said, the area of the Star Beast Planet was much larger than the underground sea. It was as if a needle was placed in the sea when more than 100,000 people entered. Boss Wang, how about you help me get a level 8 mount of the Eternal God Lord this time? Invincible battle technique squinted his eyes and said to Wang Xian, if the harvest is good, I will get you a mount of the pinnacle of the Eternal God Lord. Wang Xian said with a smile. Hehe, Boss Wang is really generous. Invincible war technique smiled and didn't ignore Wang Xian's word. He knew Boss Wang's strength. Everyone, get ready. No one is allowed to enter the Beast King Divine Kingdom. There are more than 20 immortal God King desolate beasts there. They will definitely die if they go. Let's go. Shouts sounded.